some rain showers here on your Friday morning. Welcome into the show. I am Mark. That is Kim St. Ange. You're going to see Drew Young on the other side of the camera here because Ethan decided he can suddenly take a long weekend. Wasn't he just off for like a week?
Yeah. Although you saying that will probably invite some haters for you, Mark.
I know. Who's in charge around here? Who's giving people all this time off? I'm just kidding. Happy he can get some time. I think he had to go pick his daughter up from summer camp or something like that. So that's what we got going on. We're watching the American soccer team lost last night.
Yep.
And everybody's going, well, it's okay. We were only playing the subs.
We're still in it. I mean,
But
that's
if we'd won, everybody would say, they're now the favorite to win the World Cup. Am I right?
I have no idea.
Yes.
I just know that they have to face Bosnia, and I think it's next Wednesday, and that's the knockout round.
Yeah.
So this one was just kind of for fun, more or less.
I guess so. Like it really
like it
didn't matter.
helps. It
Drew
helps
said that
you.
to me this morning. Just like it didn't matter. We were
Then
playing.
what's the point?
playing
Why
nines.
tire the guy? Why tire the guys out if it doesn't really matter?
You have to play everybody in the group, regardless of how many points you already have. So
I'm not being a hater.
I am. This is another reason I don't like soccer.
Well, I want America to win, and it took 98 minutes to get a final score in that game. And it didn't start till 9 o'clock last night.
9 our
right?
time. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, that was a late game. I didn't see any part of it. I just heard the results when I woke up this morning.
Would you have watched it if it were earlier?
You know, I might have tuned in a little bit. It doesn't. When the U.S. is playing, it interests me. I'll admit that. I'm not a soccer fan. I'm trying desperately. I love America. I'm trying desperately to pay some attention. I have watched the first two games. I did. I watched one of them on TV, and I watched another one at a bar with some friends. And I thank you, Drew. Thank you for giving me a little bit of credit. Paco will be on here griping at me this morning for talking about sports off the top. But that is the latest thing that's happened as you wake up this morning. The USA lost late last night to some team called Turkey. I never heard of them before.
Can we not with that?
I'm not. Don't worry. I'm just teasing.
Drew was telling me that, and I said no. I refuse to call it Turkey. I'm calling it Turkey because it's Turkey.
Did you search Grok for why they say that, why they changed it?
No.
Do you know why they changed it? According to artificial intelligence this morning, I'll just credit it to that in case it's not true. They requested the name change because they knew the games were going to be played in the United States, and they didn't want comparison to the bird.
Seriously?
That's what it said. And that if that's more the way they pronounce it in Turkish. And they wanted the announcers in the U.S. to start calling it Turkiya or Turkiya. Or what is it, Drew? Am I saying it wrong?
I don't know, because it's different if you get a British announcer versus U.S. I don't know.
They've spelled it Turkiya instead of just calling it Turkey. They want to call it Turkiya or something like that.
Well, for those of you who hear me do the little sports in the morning, I'm calling it Turkey. I don't need you to type in on the text line, which, by the way, is open, 314-241-9797. I don't want your griping about it. Kim, it's Turkiya. I know it's Turkiya, but I'm calling it Turkey. I'm just going to set the ground rules right now.
What if we just call it the Ottoman Empire? The United States lost last night to the Ottoman Empire.
I'll change my headlines for that.
Okay?
Yeah, I think that's good.
It sounds better. I think it sounds better. So that's kind of what we're going to go with here on the Marc Cox Morning Show. All right. Yesterday, I went to a political fundraiser last night down in Defiance, where people were getting together down there at Stone Ledge Distillery. That is where Jen Olson, who's running for director elections in St. Charles County, had an event down there last night. Ran into Bill Eigel, saw a bunch of people, and Tom Shaw, my friend Tom Shaw, was up early, and he was up late because he was down there, and he's getting up early this morning to leave for Florida. I bring that up because a lot of people were asking me about the voter guide, which I just want to tell you, coming up this morning in the 6 a.m. hour, we will unveil the Marc Cox voter guide for the August 4th election, the primary election. It's going to be posted online. It'll go live at 5 o'clock, or 6 o'clock, I should say, and we will share that information with you here on the show. Put the finishing touches on it yesterday.
This is a big deal because you made some endorsements in races you would not typically make an endorsement.
I have often avoided endorsing in primaries because what I end up with is a lot of people I know well who end up running against each other, and it just makes for some hard feelings. But sometimes the stakes are high enough that you feel like you need to wade into these things, and there are a couple of key races, key elections. Certainly, the information on the petitions that are going to be on the ballot. There are 4 of them. Count them, 4. And if you walk into that booth and you're unaware of what they actually mean, in other words, you're confused by the lies you're hearing on these stupid ads that we're running on our radio station and many others around the area, you could be confused when you walk in there. If you read the voter guide, you won't be confused. You'll know what the issues are. Now, you may not agree with me on it, but I don't want you walking in there with your mind clouded by the seeds of doubt that the Missouri Realtors Association is trying to plant in your brain, whether it's Amendment 4 or Amendment 5. That's initiative petition reform or the tax, removing the Missouri income tax. Neither one of them need to be complicated. And I'm explaining that to you in the voter guide. So, it'll all roll out here. I would expect to get some dirty texts and emails shortly after that.
I really do respect that about you in the sense that you are willing to stick your neck out there and make some of these endorsements. And to your point, I know you are friends with a lot of the candidates who are running against each other,
yes.
and that does complicate things. And I know you've had in the past different things come up related to that, and so I think that it's a big deal. People should know that you care about, despite what the St. Louis Post-Dispatch has wanted to say about some of your picks for the school board races. You're not picking who you think will win. You're picking who you think should win.
Thank you.
Very big difference there.
You got to stick to your values and what you deem as important issues in these elections, and I'm giving you my opinion stated up front. It's my opinion on how you should vote. I believe you should vote in this election, and clearly the hater's going to hate, and there will be people that disagree with me. I don't care, but I do explain my reasons in the voter guide, which is why I do it every year, and it is a labor of love, and I take my time putting it together so that I am fully satisfied with the document when it comes out. You'll see it this morning at just after 6 a.m. So anyway, we're happy you're with us. We got good stuff going on for you today. We'll get to the Capitol Beat every Friday. Eric Burlison is going to be on this morning. Yesterday, Kim, I'm sad to say, apparently we lost another one.
What?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, that was a few days ago, yeah. She left the Democratic Party.
The Republican Party.
I'm sorry, what did I say?
She joined the Democrats.
Sorry, she probably will. That's the next thing. Both she and Tucker have said, I'm not a Democrat, but I'm not a Republican. Okay, well, here's the thing. Are you independent? And then in a couple weeks, we're going to see that you're just a full-blown Democratic socialist? They'll be campaigning with some of these crazy wackadoodles in New York.
Sayonara is what I say to MTG. If you've gone that full crazy, we don't need you, is what I would tell you. We'll get Congressman Burlison on here, talk about the Save America Act. Byron Donalds is one of my new heroes in Congress, and I'll play you some of what he had to say about it yesterday because he just spoke the unvarnished truth. That's what we heard yesterday out of Byron Donalds. I'll get to that. Ali Triolo is going to join us, RNC Director of Election Integrity. And wow, couple of great positive immigration decisions out of the Supreme Court. I was very encouraged to see that. A great Second Amendment decision out of the Supreme Court. I was happy to see that as well. And we'll talk about that. I mean, a couple of these were bipartisan. There's no way anybody could say they weren't bipartisan decisions. And then a couple of them, it was 6-3. So the 3 lefties voted one way, and the 6 people with common sense voted the right way. And we'll talk about that this morning. So be sure and stay tuned for that. I did go a little long here. So, Drew, I think what we'll probably do is skip the short list right here, and we'll get to it as soon as we come back after the break. And let's start your Friday morning off with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare and the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. Well, we've got wet roadways out there and rain still falling here and there throughout the area. So the good news is it's Friday and we have generally lighter traffic, at least in the morning. The bad news is you just have to be careful. I'm not sure that's really bad news. Just take it easy if you do head out. Right now, though, we're in good shape. 55 looks great. We've got light traffic in general on both the Missouri and Illinois sides. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Here's a World Soccer Championship preview.
Brought to you by Lowe's. Members get more at Lowe's. And by the first ever Infiniti QX65. The United States has already won Group D, but still has to get through 90 minutes against Turkey before starting knockout play. The USA is coming off back-to-back wins at a World Cup for the first time since 1930. Turkey is already eliminated and has been one of the tournament's biggest disappointments. I'm Mike Conti.
Today,
The Cards, the Marlins.
Siteman Cancer Center game time 7:15.
Play ball!
Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
If you're trying to sell your home, there's only one group of agents in town I trust, Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. My friends Mark and Neil have the best system, options, and strategies to connect you to the best qualified buyers, getting your home sold fast and for top dollar. Check out thegelmanteam.com.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
The time is 5:19 this Friday morning. This time check sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
It'll be the best thing that happened to my party. I mean, because most Americans are going to listen to these pencil necks and say, well, you know, Republicans aren't perfect, but the other side's crazy.
Senator Kennedy, the Bolsheviks are in charge of the other party now, which is going to make things a little bit easier for us.
It's time for us to have as diverse of a caucus as the people.
Yeah, you can't fix stupid. That's Cori Bush. Running for Congress. Didn't make the list, by the way, in case you're wondering about endorsements this morning. Cori did not make the list.
That is shocking.
I'll just go ahead and give you that little tease there up front. Yeah, she thinks it's okay to have Democratic socialists in the Democratic Party telling you that the state should control everything. These people need to have a dunce cap and be set in the corner.
You know, there are millions of people standing in line want to be part of the greatest nation on earth. And that goes back to my early point. People say, why you arrest them if they're not criminals under 10 years? Because they cheated the system.
Thank you. Tom Homan. He's like, he holds a news conference yesterday on the Supreme Court decision on temporary protected status. He said, what part about temporary don't you understand? The Biden administration bastardized this to make it seem like they could just protect them forever and they could just stay here in flux forever. No, that's not how the law was designed, and we had to wait this long for the Supreme Court to say enough.
Socialism is popular because it appeals to imbeciles who just don't want to do their homework.
Yeah, thank you. Dan Bongino yesterday talking about The View. I can't remember if I sent that bite over to you or not, Drew. Did I send that bite over last night for Trisha and Drew on The View? Is that one on here somewhere? Well,
15.
Is that it? Yeah. This is where this cabal of lesser than average intelligent people sit every day and they talk about things like the SAVE Act, right? Which we know, according to every poll taken by every polling organization, is an 80 or 85 to 20 or 15 issue for the American people. Everybody agrees it's okay to show an ID to vote. Listen to what The View said about this yesterday. Go to cut 15.
It seems to me no one wants to sign this bill.
Doesn't have the votes.
It doesn't have the votes. And so he's trying to push it and do all kinds of it's ridiculous. It's the bill that would force people to have ID when they come to vote. And nobody wants it.
It's basically called the Save America Act, which is ironic because it's really saving his behind. Yeah. Save the Donald Trump behind Act.
Yeah. There are probably portions of the Save America Act that could pass, but the bill itself does not have the votes.
But it basically suppresses the vote because when people vote in big numbers, Democrats win.
And we don't care. We don't want them to have to show ID because if they do and they either don't have an ID or they're not legal, then they won't show up in mass numbers and Democrats won't win. She said the quiet part out loud there, but she also they just show their ignorance by saying dumb things like, nobody wants it. Really? I think 85% of people want it.
And you just go back to how many things you're required to show a photo ID for, and they have no problem doing that. If it was something to their benefit, like they won some big trip, okay, but they have to show a photo ID, you better believe they would figure out a way to go get a photo ID to show to get that trip. But when it comes to voting, no, that's racist. That's offensive, and you're disenfranchising us by forcing that upon us.
How about Byron Donald yesterday? This guy's going to be the next governor of the state of Florida. I kind of hate to lose him out of Congress, to be honest with you. But, he pointed out the hypocrisy. Listen.
Just the other day, President Obama opened up his presidential library in Chicago. You needed an ID to attend the event. So if you're going to show up for President Obama's library, you got to present a voter ID, a photo ID to gain access to that event. But to vote in our elections, you don't have to do that? That makes no sense. It's crazy and it's stupid.
He was taking no prisoners yesterday at this news conference. I was watching Chip Roy standing behind him over his right shoulder, and Roy's just raising his eyebrows like, yep, he's telling the truth. The biggest truth that he told was about the Save America Act. The president got in some conflict with Bill Cassidy, the guy he helped defeat out of Louisiana, and a few others because they won't get off their duff and pass this. He probably had choice words for John Thune, too, because he said the other day, you need to pass this. It shows leadership. You leaders lead. Make this happen. Get rid of cause a real filibuster. Donald stood up and just called them out by name yesterday and talked about how ridiculous they are. Listen.
Man, the Senate sucks. I'm just going to come out and say it. They suck. This is not hard. 80% of the American people want the Save America Act to pass. Not 80% of Republicans, 80% of the American people. And the only organization that refused to act is the United States Senate. Everybody else is saying, this is common sense. We should do common sense things. Let's make sure only Americans are voting in our elections.
Yeah.
The Senate sucks.
The Senate sucks. I'm going to play that over and over and over again today because Byron Donalds he said exactly what everybody else was thinking.
The Senate sucks. I'm just going to come out and say it. They suck.
Well, the thing about the Democratic National Convention, remember all that where, security, as you could imagine, was very, very tight. I'm sure they had to show a photo ID for that. So again, all the people who wanted to go to that had no problem having a photo ID. But then that's the same party that is trying to claim that they shouldn't be forced to do this.
They had to get on an airplane to get there. They had to, at every step of the way. They show how ridiculous they're being. Their outrageous claims that millions of people will be disenfranchised. If you're a Democrat and you're in the group that of people they're referring to as too stupid to get an ID, this is your party talking about you. They want you to just step and fetch it is what they want. They want you to get in line and do what they tell you, and if you don't, then you must be too stupid. Honestly. That's what Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg and the whole bunch, Chuck Schumer, are saying to the members of the Democrat Party. If you don't do exactly what we tell you to do, plus we don't want to require you to have to show any ID because we know that at your intelligence level, that's probably too high of a bar for us to require. That you probably don't have the intelligence to go get an ID. Well, I'm sorry. If you're not smart enough to figure out how to get an ID, you're probably not smart enough to go vote. So I'm just fine with that. That honestly, if that's what your requirement is, let's just call it what it is. How about that? All right, coming up in just a minute, we're going to get to Kim on a Whim. Stay tuned.
When you're hurt in a rideshare accident, whether you're the driver or the passenger, the questions come fast. Who's responsible? What's next? At Kaufman Townsley, we understand how complicated rideshare accidents can be. We know the insurance companies and we know how to hold them accountable. We're local, we're experienced, and we'll fight until you get the justice you deserve. Kaufman Townsley. Real people, real results. Call 314-777-7777.
Meet Linda. She's stuck in traffic with hundreds of thoughts racing through her mind, like what she needs to pack for her family's vacation and what they still need from the store. But you know what she's not thinking about? Her HVAC system. Linda is a preferred partner with Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Members of our preferred partner plan get 2 HVAC system checks per year. We clean and inspect your AC and furnace at each visit. Partners also get priority service and exclusive discounts starting at just $19 per month. Life is chaos, but with Air Comfort Service, you'll have peace of mind with your HVAC system. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
I'm probably okay to have one more drink before I drive home. I'm probably okay. I open the window to stay alert. Probably okay. I just popped some gum in my mouth.
Step out of the car, please.
I probably made a mistake.
Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
This morning, we'll find out how Americans are feeling about the economy. The University of Michigan's Consumer Sentiment Survey for June rose earlier this month after easing gas prices provided some relief. South Korean chip maker SK Hynix is preparing to go public on the NASDAQ 2 weeks from today. Mark Tepper of Strategic Wealth Partners says it will make it more accessible to U.S. investors.
These Korean companies historically have just been very
difficult for investors to gain access to. So the fact that they are coming to, potentially the NASDAQ to raise money, that will give Americans access to it.
Next week, markets will be closed on Friday for observance of the July 4th holiday. The monthly employment report will be released on Thursday, July 2nd. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola, invested in you.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Got wet roadways this morning and a couple of accidents already along northbound 270. The first one is near Highway 21, and it looks like that may be in the left lane. Hard to see on that camera. And then there is an accident north of there. This one is just north of Gravois. It is blocking the left lane, and traffic is stacking up behind that. Now, they've got the left lanes blocked and the right shoulder because they've been trying to move this off to the shoulder, so it is a mess at the accident north of Gravois. I put it up on X at Susan6768 if you want to see what I'm talking about and the lineup behind it. That is the worst of it at this hour. Other than that, we've got wet roadways but light traffic. So we're okay on the Missouri side and the Illinois side with that one major exception on 270. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hey, it rained. It's raining right now. In fact, I'm looking out the window down here. I was going to say it rained overnight at my house pretty heavily yesterday afternoon. What's your basement looking like this morning? If you are afraid to go down there, or you just know because there'll be water somewhere in your basement, I'd like to introduce you to Matt Hayes. He and his fantastic crew over at Home Shield Foundation Repairs can take care of that, and then you don't have to worry about it again. At least that problem. Let's put it that way. You might have other problems, but they'll fix the leak, and then they'll give you a lifetime warranty that covers it. 314-271-9900. That's the phone number. Maybe you know somebody else who's got a leaky basement, and you hear them complaining about it all the time, but they're scared to death on what it's going to cost to fix it. Here's what Matt promises you. He's going to give you the straight scoop, no shenanigans. He's going to tell you, this is what it's going to take to fix it. I'm not trying to fix things that haven't broken yet. I'll get it taken care of, and then you don't have to worry about it again. So recommend him to your friends as well. It's HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com, or call him at 314-271-9900.
For 250 years, America has been more than a place. It's been a promise, a story of courage, hope, and dreams. And through it all, local TV and radio broadcasters have been there, telling the story of America, bringing truth to light. Broadcasters tell the story of who we are and who we aspire to be. We are America's storytellers. We are broadcasters. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
At a local speed dating event, homeowners weren't looking for love. They were looking for the one.
Honey, I got the best news.
What, you installed all the ceiling fans?
No, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Yeah, oh, you are, but this one is certified, background check, and everyone was fighting over him. Plus, he can install all the ceiling fans.
Okay, who is this guy?
A Jerry Kelly technician.
For heating, cooling, electrical, or plumbing, find the one for your home. Schedule today at JerryKelly.com.
Ready for instant curb appeal that comes with a 25-year transferable warranty? Call Rhino Shield today. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, aluminum, steel, cedar, and more. Over the past 20 years, we've done thousands of homes, businesses, churches, schools, condos, parking garages, large metal buildings, and strip malls, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks. We do flat and sloped metal roofs to extend their lives too. Proud to be veteran-owned and manufactured in the good old USA. So we're tariff-free. We're exceeding expectations every day. Evaluations are free.
A+ rated with the BBB, and a lot of 5-star Google reviews. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't hate, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
250 years of capitalism, private ownership, and rugged individualism. America 250 on 97.1 FM Talk. Sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Kim on a whim.
I know this will irritate some of you. Mark, maybe you too, but I agree with some of the Democrats on what happened yesterday. I'm a little irritated. I know, just process what I just said. I'm a little frustrated with the Trump administration. The Supreme Court, there were a number of big decisions, still waiting on several big decisions. Those will not be coming down until next week. But one of the big decisions that was released yesterday relates to Bayer and Roundup, which many people have said has caused cancer. And the Supreme Court really they dealt a devastating blow to the Make America Healthy Again movement. And I would argue the MAHA movement, those suburban moms who were all about this, they in part helped Trump get elected. Not entirely, but they helped him. I would say that the suburban moms, they tend to be liberal. And there were a lot of moms who realized that Trump actually does care about making sure people like RFK Jr. are in positions of power to make some serious changes. And he has done a lot of great things, like the food pyramid, flipping that on its head, and the vaccine schedule, and all these things that I love. This bothers me. The Trump administration has advocated for this to make it where people can't force Roundup, or the Bayer in this case, because they own Monsanto now, to put any sort of a warning on its containers of Roundup. What they're saying is, as long as the EPA doesn't require it, the individual states can't require them to put any sort of warning on it. So there's all these lawsuits, including a lawsuit from Missouri with this guy named John Durnell, who had cancer and blames it on Roundup. It's basically null and void now. There's nothing. It doesn't sound like there's any sort of recourse for anybody who has cancer and believes that it could have been caused from Roundup.
Well, okay. First of all, I think you have to separate Donald Trump and MAHA out of this. I mean, the Supreme Court made a ruling based on the law, and they decided against it. You have to take the emotion out of it for a minute. I'm not on Bayer's side here. I think that there may be some health risks for Roundup. If you read the fine print on the label, it warns you that there might be some health risk with Bayer now, with Roundup. As I read this, what the other lawyers said, even though they expressed disappointment, is they referred to it as a very narrow ruling, and many of them felt Onder Law was one of the ones I read this comment from, that they felt that it was not going to have an impact on many of the other lawsuits that have also been brought for damages regarding Roundup. This was very specific to the claim he was making about the label that was on there, and the Supreme Court basically argued that the label gave Bayer protection because they labeled what they were required to label by the government, right? Not that there's maybe not something dangerous about the chemical that's used in Roundup, but it was a purely legal decision, and the other attorneys that are suing over it seem to think that it was narrow enough that there are other avenues people can take to sue over this.
The reason why I'm frustrated with the Trump administration is because the Trump administration actively sided with Bayer in court. Lee Zeldin had testified before Congress about this related to this executive order. For example, the Farm Bill. Okay, there was a provision made in this that basically pushed back the date that the EPA has to look over and review the safety of some of these products. So initially, I think it was this September, they were supposed to have, I mean, it's like hundreds of different reviews on these different products with pesticides and things like that. Well, guess what? This provision in the Farm Bill allows them to push that back until 2031. So now there's all these things in limbo, and that's what's frustrating to me. So there was an aspect of the Trump administration where they were, like I said, actively testifying in favor of Bayer. And that's why I think this is such a blow. There was a congresswoman, and I'll be totally honest with you, I don't even know who this congresswoman is. Congresswoman Pingree. She's a Democrat, but she posted about this. So listen to what she's talking about.
It's a kind of immunity that will apply to Bayer, and you can't use current state laws to sue them, which is how people have been doing it today, because we don't have a decent ruling out of the EPA. So this is a terrible ruling. Trump was right behind it. He had a solicitor general arguing the case there, and I got to watch it. So the fact is, now we have to go back to work in Congress. This EPA is way behind in the new update on the health challenges with glyphosate or Roundup and why so many people are getting sick from it, but they've been using faulty information. Some of it came directly from Monsanto, using an old letter that they wrote as part of their argument. But we can do this in Congress.
And I hope they do. By the way, this was a 7-2 ruling for the Supreme Court.
Bipartisan.
This is, again, I know, but I'm just frustrated. I feel like this is something where a lot of the people rallied behind the Trump administration for Maha, knowing that he was going to do good. And I just feel like he is trying to side with these big, not necessarily Trump. Let me back it up here. I understand this was a Supreme Court decision. The reason why I'm roping Trump into this is because his administration, as I have pointed out, has truly been advocating for Bayer. So there is a level of accountability, I believe, that his administration has with what just played out with the Supreme Court.
Again, I'm not a scientist. I remember when we covered this issue, when it was being considered by the Missouri legislature, and there was a lot of claims that the bill that they were trying to pass that Bayer was supporting would have provided some sort of blanket immunity for Bayer. And we had people on from both sides. I think maybe, was it Senator Schroer? We had several of the legislators on that were pushing against this thing, and then we had somebody on from. She was a scientist. She might have been with Bayer. I can't remember.
I think she was.
And their argument about this is, it has helped crop production tremendously in the United States. Farmers would be hurting without it for their yield and all this stuff. And their argument is, they question the studies that they claim there was one faulty study many years ago that claimed to show some problem with glyphosate, and that people use that as the excuse to try to get it banned, and that they followed all of the EPA rules. And bear in mind that those would have been rules in place during the Obama administration, most certainly the Biden administration. This has been formed in the EPA over a number of years. I'm not defending it. I think there may be some health risks with Roundup. I just think it was a very narrow ruling, and I don't know if there's a technical reason to disagree with them.
So Bayer questioning the validity of studies about whether glyphosate is bad for your health
because they make money off of it.
Right.
I agree.
It's comparable to Pfizer questioning the validity of a study about concerns with the mRNA vaccine.
There were many more of those.
Right, but I'm just saying, of course there are going to be some concerns from the company that's monetizing this. And to your point about the farmers, I'm sure that was an aspect of it, that the Trump administration, that the Supreme Court, they're looking at this and the way it impacts farmers and the food and all the different things. But I heard from, for example, a lawmaker in Iowa who was talking about how this in many cases hurts farmers because they might be using this product thinking it's good, and then the people who they're selling to develop cancer, and there's no recourse for the farmers. So this isn't always a win-win for the farmers. Like, you want to hear a lot of these people who think glyphosate's not a problem, like they make it out to seem. There's just, this is a blow to Maha and the movement.
I don't know. I don't know if it is.
It 100% is.
I don't know how big of a blow it is to Maha.
Some of the biggest Maha leaders have been speaking out about this, and have been saying this is devastated. They're mad at the Trump administration, and it's funny because I'm reading it and I'm like, thank you. I feel the same way.
Bayer has paid out billions of dollars in settlements over this, and the attorneys that continue to make money on it don't seem to think it's going to bar them from continuing to get payouts from Bayer. So it strikes me that if the Trump administration could have an impact on this through the EPA or whatever, then that's no different than saying, well, why didn't the Obama administration ban it? Why didn't the Biden administration ban it? This has been going on for years and years and years. And I don't know. I think I'll go back. I'll stick to my side of it. I still think that it was a pretty narrow ruling. And I'm sure the people at Bayer are thrilled about it. But it was just it was $1 million. They've had $100 million lawsuits filed over this that they've lost.
Yeah, they've had a lot of lawsuits.
I just don't know that it's I don't know if we can break it down that simply or not.
By the way, just to address something before we go to commercial break, someone just texted in, Kim, can you please stop arguing? It's like you wake up in the morning and you look for a fight on every subject. Well, first of all,
me, I do that.
First of all, this is called Kim on a Whim, so I get to voice frustrations or anything that is I feel passionate about. And if you've been listening for any amount of time to the show, you know that health things, I'm passionate about those. You can hear it in my voice. Mark and I are not arguing. Mark and I enjoy a good debate. I agree with you on 99.9% of stuff. And guess what? It's all right that we don't agree on every single thing. And I think that makes for an interesting conversation. So to the people who were calling me Karen, I don't care. Call me Karen. Whatever you want to call me. Some of you have tried to say I'm like AOC. If I say anything against Trump, you say I'm AOC. I'm a Democrat. I'm a Karen. I don't care. I'm so blessed to have this platform where you've given me an opportunity to voice out things that I feel passionate about. So thank you for commenting. Thank you for listening to the show. I'm not going to stop talking about things that matter to me and that I believe matter to many of you listening.
There you have it.
I rest my case.
All right. We'll be back in just a minute.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Wet roadways this morning, so give yourself a little extra time. Crews have been clearing a couple of accidents along northbound 270. There was one at 21, and there was another one north of Gravois. North of Gravois is cleared for sure. I can't tell whether the one at 21 is because it's raining and it's just difficult. But expect a slow go from just north of 55 through Gravois, and then things open up. Now, we do have light traffic in general, with, of course, the exception of that area and the accidents. So eastbound 70 looks good, 64 is quiet, and we are quiet on the Illinois side. You just want to give yourself a few extra minutes this morning. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Annie Fry here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They are the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, welcome back. I will have to point out here that Paco never fails. He never fails me. I knew he would comment on me leading off the show with the USA Sports Score this morning. But I fooled you because I did get around to the Supreme Court stuff fast enough because those were a couple of big decisions. There was also a big Supreme Court decision yesterday, a victory for the Second Amendment. And I'd wonder on this one, like everybody always wonders about how broad a decision, like we were talking about that in the Roundup case there, the attorneys are arguing that was a narrow decision. I wonder how broad this one's going to be. Do you know what they did in Hawaii? This is how bad they are in Hawaii. If any state that would elect Mazie Hirono, who replaced Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as the dumbest person in the United States Senate when the two of them left, that tells you a little something about the politics in Hawaii, just so you know that. But they overturned Hawaii's vampire rule in a 6-3 decision, reversing the Ninth Circuit. By the way, the Second Amendment Foundation, represented by our friend Mark Walters and others, had filed an amicus support brief in this case. In opposition to what they're doing in Hawaii. But this is basically what they did. They had a scheme that said you could not carry a gun into any business open to the public, including your grocery store, the gas station, a restaurant, anything, unless the owner actively posted a sign saying guns were welcome. So the default was if there was no sign that you were welcome to carry your gun there, this law said you weren't allowed to carry your gun there. And what Justice Alito pointed out is that had a chilling effect on the Second Amendment because it was designed to discourage you from carrying for self-defense as you go about your daily life. So I want to know why you can't take this and apply it to the ridiculous rules that we have here in Missouri, where you technically can't carry on Metro and some of these other places where statistics will show you have a greater than average chance of being assaulted or some sort of violence or being robbed or whatever. That kind of common sense is what we need, and we're getting it out of the Supreme Court. That was a 6-3 ruling. Of course, the three lefties didn't like it. Of course they didn't, because they don't like your Second Amendment rights. Many of them don't like your First Amendment rights.
So related to the Metro issue here in St. Louis, do you see that ever changing? Because they keep talking about ways they're improving security, but that seems to be one of the biggest things. Would probably make some people feel safer riding.
I think they the state law needs to change. Is what I think. They need to require them to do it. The part of the talk there for the longest time is that they needed to put what's the word I'm looking for? Basically a federal system in place that would allow them to sort of like a port authority, I guess is the phrase I would turn there. They needed a port authority in place which would give overriding control over this to another agency who could then have its own police force and then put police on every Metrolink train. We talk a lot about the divisions in the region, but Metro, when you think about it, it includes parts of Illinois and it includes parts of Missouri and different municipalities in each one of those places. And none of them have wanted to give up their independence to have their own officers on those trains. So the city provides some officers, the county provides some officers. Over in East St. Louis and St. Clair County, I think they provide some officers. They all are part of the pool of people covering it, and they say they do that so that when a crime happens, it can be if it's an arrest by a St. Louis County officer, it can be prosecuted in a St. Louis County court. Is the reason they do it. But it's sort of a hodgepodge of coverage. But the idea that you can't carry on one of these trains is something I think the legislature needs to impact, or maybe somebody needs to sue it, and maybe they'll win after this Supreme Court decision yesterday. So a big decision. It was a good day yesterday.
Yeah.
On immigration, and for the Second Amendment, we got a couple of big wins, and I guess we'll
more cases
have
next
to wait
week.
till next week
on
there
the
were
biggest ones.
8 cases left, including birthright citizenship.
Yep. Trans athletes.
Which leads me to think that could kind of go our way. I think when they wait till the last minute, like they did with the Roe Wade decision, there's usually a reason for that. They want to get on an airplane and get the hell out of Dodge before they drop these big decisions. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Coming up, we're going to unveil the Marc Cox August voter guide. Stay tuned.
Bringing a data center online takes more than equipment. It takes precision. Graybar helps customers predict, stage, schedule, deliver, and verify every step of the build with critical products that are available now. From networking and wireless to critical power and testing tools, our teams help you reduce downtime risk and keep projects on track. Speed, scale, ready now. Yep, Graybar does that.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
License number GL250000615.
Hey, Dad, what causes drains to clog?
Grease, hair, soap scum, and tree roots.
Tree roots?
This town has old pipes and big trees. They find each other.
They grow inside pipes?
They bust into pipes.
Whoa.
Once they're in, the water stops flowing.
Can we fix it?
The big green grasser machine can fix any clog.
Green is always grasser at grasserhomeservices.com.
Last year, we had 295 trials where we'd been offered a total of $90 million on all those cases. When the dust settled, we had recovered over $1.1 billion in verdicts and mid-trial settlements. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won a lot, $30 billion and counting. The best part of all those wins is that it helps you when you hire us. All those wins allow us to let the insurance company know we mean business. And believe me, they know who we are. If you've been injured, Google Morgan & Morgan results. You're not bragging if it's a fact. 3 million people tried to hire us last year alone. That happened for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com and let's get started this minute. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Looking for a smarter, safer way to invest? For a limited time, lock in a great rate with Together Credit Union's 11-month CD special. From day one, your return on investment is guaranteed. No market swings, no surprises. Just a competitive, fixed rate that steadily grows your deposit. Make your money work harder with a financial partner that puts you first. Visit a Together Credit Union branch near you or go online to togethercu.org to learn more. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Thousands are still feared missing, buried under rubble. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. In Venezuela, from Wednesday's back-to-back strong earthquakes a minute apart.
Right now, the U.S. and countries from around the world are rushing desperately needed aid to hard-hit Venezuela. At least 235 people are dead and 4,300 hurt. Crews are searching for survivors who may still be stuck under the many buildings and homes that collapsed. The Trump administration is now pledging $150 million in aid. The U.S. is also sending military personnel search and rescue crews.
That's Fox's Carly Shimkus. Ukraine bombarded Russia overnight with one of the biggest counterattacks of the war, launching hundreds of drones across Russia and Russian-held Crimea after recent Ukrainian drone strikes did damage to oil refineries and military targets. There's renewed drama in the Strait of Hormuz, which President Trump has insisted is open after the deal with Iran. But Fox's Madeline Rivera reports one cargo ship came under attack, hit with an Iranian drone.
As a result, the International Maritime Organization says it's pausing the evacuation operation until it gets more clarity on the situation. The IRGC's Navy has warned vessels will only be allowed to pass in routes that Iran has approved. The Persian Gulf Strait Authority says the consequences arising from passage through unauthorized routes shall be the responsibility of the owner, operator, and vessel commander. But the president remains confident in the deal the U.S. has struck.
We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon.
Oil prices are down another 3%. WTI at $69 a barrel is almost back to the level before the Iran conflict. Brent crude's already under its price in late February. At soccer's World Cup, a last-minute loss for Team USA.
Comes back to the top of the box now. It's clipped in at the backside. Matt Turner, it's stopped home. Turkey, they score the winning goal.
Turkey beat the U.S. 3-2 on Fox, but with earlier wins, the American team already advanced the next round. America's listening to Fox News.
Please be advised. You may want to stop eating the following foods immediately: broccoli, kale, bean sprouts, blueberries, quinoa, spinach.
Wait, what? I thought those were good for me.
Turns out, not for everyone. Because what's healthy for one person can cause inflammation for another. And the only way to really know what your body needs is to listen to it.
Listen how?
That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple, at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to understand what's happening inside you right now. When your results come in, you'll learn exactly which foods to eat, which to avoid, and which supplements are right for you, all based on the world's largest RNA-based human biology database and thousands of clinical research studies. And many people who use Viome report more energy, better digestion, and a better mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing. Learn more at Viome.com/gut. V as in Victor, IOME.com/GUT. And use coupon code GUTHEALTH50 to save $50 off your purchase. Viome. Trust.
Good morning, I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. Rain moving through the area now at 6:03. We're at 70 degrees. An update on that massive sinkhole downtown. The Missouri Department of Transportation is hoping to reopen Interstate 44 near the Dome this weekend. Keep in mind that stretch of I-44 at the intersection of Biddle and Broadway, it's been closed for 2 weeks during repairs. Well, this week crews poured a concrete-like material to try to stabilize the area. MoDOT says repairs are going well, but the rain could unfortunately delay the process because the heavy machinery can't operate in severe weather. A local EMT has been ticketed for driving an ambulance without a driver's license. Katrina Hopper was cited for driving with a suspended or revoked license after she crashed into another vehicle on June 9th while responding to a call for the St. Louis City Fire Department. Hopper says her license is active. Channel 4 discovered Hopper has a history of traffic violations for things like speeding, driving on the wrong side of the road without insurance, and failure to register a vehicle. A new drone program designed to help get police more eyes on the scene faster is already having success in O'Fallon. Police started this drone system about 2 weeks ago, and they say they've already launched the drones about 100 times. Last week, for example, police used one of these drones for a call about some kids trespassing at a school, allowing them to see the kids instantly while officers were still about 10 minutes away. In sports, Cardinals game last night against the Diamondbacks was postponed because of weather, so they'll make it up July 23rd. Tonight, Cards host the Marlins at 7:15. Tonight's NHL draft could be a game changer for the Blues. That's because they have 4 first-round picks and 13 selections overall. And did you hear Team USA lost to Turkey 3-2 last night? Still in the World Cup, though, they'll be facing Bosnia next week in the knockout round. 70 degrees now coming up on 5 minutes after the hour. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we've got wet roadways this morning, so leaving early, not a bad idea. But this, of course, is balanced out by the fact that it's a Friday morning, which generally means lighter traffic, and that is true so far. So we look good on the roads. Just know that you're going to have to take it easy this morning. And I would tell you what's going on as far as road work, but you never know if they'll do that when it's raining. So just going to leave it as it is. If you are headed out, give yourself a few extra minutes, but traffic is light, and this is on the Missouri and Illinois sides both. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Honey, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The slow-moving weather pattern is going to stay with us into Saturday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms on this Friday, 81. Friday night, showers and thunderstorms scattered about 70. Saturday, partly sunny, scattered showers and thunderstorms, so the action becomes somewhat limited on Saturday, 89 degrees, and Sunday, sunny, hot, and a steam bath on Sunday afternoon, 95. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
70 degrees and cloudy now. It is 6:06. You can listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show anytime or anywhere with our free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show. We're happy you're with us on a Friday morning, and I say, oh, great Odin's Raven, because, well, guess what? We have posted the voter guide. People have been asking me about it. I've been working on it and wanted to get it out because, obviously, I know people who have already voted. Like, if you are going to vote as an excused absentee voter in Missouri, you could already start voting as of this week. And I know a few people that have already. In fact, my friend said that when he voted, he was like number 58. So at least a number of people have already taken advantage of that. So we wanted to get out the voter guide in plenty of time, particularly before full voting starts in about a month on July 21st for the August primary. This way people have plenty of time to digest this and kind of parse out the truth against all of these ridiculous ads that you're hearing all over the place by the Missouri Realtors Association, designed to mislead you, in my opinion. And my voter guide is now posted on the website. It posted at the top of the hour at 6 o'clock. And we're going to go over that a little bit for you right now, just so people have an idea of what we got going on.
Let's go.
Let's go. The Missouri voter guide. And this is not going to be a huge surprise to a lot of you, but I have posted all 4 of these amendments that are going to be on the ballot for you. Amendment 1, Kim, do you even know what Amendment 1 is?
I don't even
Most
think
people
I've
don't.
even, yeah.
Most people don't, right? There is a parks, soil, and water sales tax.
Exciting.
Isn't it exciting? This is why nobody knows anything about it, right? But it's on the ballot. Every 10 years, they have to renew this, and that's what this is. And the reason I'm a no on this is I love parks. I go to the state parks. I love fishing and all that stuff, right? This is $140 million a year sales tax is what they pull in from it. And it's a renewal of that. So you've been paying it. But because it exists in the Missouri Constitution and it doesn't go through the regular budget process. So this is just guaranteed rubber-stamped money every year. Now, if this is another $140 million worth of income to the state budget, then the Hancock Amendment maybe plays a role at some point. So what I'm saying is you should vote no on Amendment 1, make them put this back into the Missouri budget, and decide on a yearly basis how much money they're getting in that department instead of a rubber stamp. That's just an issue. This is a good cause, but let them fund it through the regular budget. Do it the right way is what I say. So no on Amendment 1. I'm a yes on Amendment 2. Amendment 2 is the elected assessor proposition. So when you go to your ballot, no matter where you are in Missouri, you'll see Amendments 1, Amendment 2. That's the elected assessor. Almost everywhere in Missouri, assessors have to be elected. But there are a couple of exceptions in charter counties. One of them is like Jackson County over by Kansas City. The county executive gets to appoint the assessor. who then in turn, you worry, would make decisions based on how much income the county needs as to how much your taxes are going to go up the next year. So what this does is it clarifies it statewide that all assessors need to be elected, so they're accountable to the voters. So I'm a yes on Amendment 2. I think that's a pretty easy one. I'm a yes on Amendment 4. That's the one about initiative petition reform. This is the most important fight on the ballot that you've probably heard. You're starting to hear more about it now, but I'm a hard yes on this, right? Because these out-of-state billionaires know they can buy their way into Missouri's Constitution. They raise a big enough pile of cash. They run up the score in St. Louis and Kansas City, and they can rewrite the founding document of the state with barely, and I mean 50% plus one, barely a statewide majority of whoever turned out to vote in that election. It's not even a majority of voters. It's just a majority of whoever decided to vote in that election. And it's not Missourians deciding Missouri's future. It's outsiders renting our ballot. So I am a clear yes on Amendment 4. We need this. We need to stop outsiders from changing our Missouri Constitution so easily. It's the reason we're stuck right now with the most liberal abortion laws in the world almost are in the state of Missouri. It's ridiculous. And we've allowed it to happen. So yes on 4, yes on 5 in the Missouri income tax. Vote yes on this. This is not complicated. It's not complicated, right? In plain English, it stops the state from reaching into your paycheck, and it lets you figure out what you're going to spend your money on. Isn't that what we believe in as conservatives? Why would you keep letting them do that, and then they automatically deduct this money out of your paycheck, and you have no say over it? By eliminating Missouri's income tax, we attract new people to the state of Missouri. We attract new businesses to the state of Missouri. And will some sales taxes go up? Yes, within reason. It's not going to be these scary numbers that the opposition is trying to scare you into believing. Plus, it's a consumption tax. It spreads out the tax burden instead of just the producers paying the burden. More people are going to share in that. But it's worked beautifully in the other states where they've done it, and the economy has done much better than Missouri's economy. This is a no-brainer. Vote yes on Amendment 5. Don't overthink this. This is a yes to your paycheck and your kids' future in this state. Drag your neighbors to the poll with you. Vote yes on Amendment 5. Don't listen to all the garbage you're hearing in some of these fake ads. Now, St. Louis County, there's a big proposition. Not every county has this year. St. Louis County is going back to the voters in the middle of this disastrous budget they have, led by Sam Page and the county council leaders. Sam Page wants you to go back and give him another $141 million a year. It's called Prop U. It's an internet use tax. They're going to start trying to tax things you buy on the internet because they don't think they get enough of your money already. Now, here's the problem. Only part of it goes to the county. More is going to go to municipalities. More is going to go to the zoo, for example. And they're already planning other tax increases, including a senior services tax they're going to try to put on the November ballot. So say no to Prop U. Make the county live within its budget. No to St. Louis County Prop U. All these are in the voter guide, 971talk.com. You can go there and find it. It's an easy read. I've even done a one-pager for you where you can just glance at it. But if you want to understand these issues, I've explained them all in depth and why I have the position that I have on it. St. Charles County Executive. I'll go through this one quickly. This is important. You got 3 good people running for county executive in St. Charles County. If you live out there, pay attention. It's important. I am endorsing Bill Eigel for St. Charles County executive. I like Steve Ellman. He deserves credit for what he's done as county executive out there. But he decided in 23 that he wasn't going to run again. I think that was a good decision, and he should have stuck with it. We need to thank him for his service and move the county forward with the new leadership. If Bill Eigel wasn't in this race, Jason Law would be the obvious choice. I think the world of him. He's a great guy. He's a public servant, lieutenant colonel with the county police right now, former mayor of Lake St. Louis. And, Jason's the kind of person you want in public life, in my opinion. And if Bill weren't in this race, I'd be telling you to vote for Jason Law. But Bill is a change agent. That's what you need in St. Louis County. He's a fighter. He's going to attack taxes. He's going to apply some common sense to building apartment buildings and these data centers. And he's going to control that. This is the person you need. Bill Eigel, vote Eigel on August 4th, and let's shake things up in St. Charles County. Now, quickly, I have endorsed individual candidates where I think it's going to make a difference in these primaries because all these people have challengers in the primary, and that's why I've made these endorsements. For the 2nd Congressional District, Ann Wagner, the obvious choice on the Republican side. The 3rd Congressional District, Bob Onder. The 8th Congressional District, Jason Smith. These are all the incumbents. Nobody is challenging them that would do a better job than what they're doing right now, my opinion. For St. Charles County Executive, I mentioned Bill Eigel. For St. Charles County, the Director of Elections is currently Kurt Barr. He's being challenged by Jen Olson, who believes in hand counts and does not like these electronic voting machines. Jen Olson is the obvious choice in that election. St. Charles County Council District 3, Annette Sieb is the challenger there against Mike Elam. I'm endorsing Annette. I think it's time for Steve Ellman to go, and I think it's time for some turnover on that St. Charles County Council. And in the district judge race there is a challenge in the primary. This is a little bit unusual because normally it's hard to tell which one of these candidates to support. Here's what I'm telling you. In Division 11, for the Associate Circuit Judge in St. Charles County, Tanya Mum is getting my endorsement. Her campaign signs, if you've seen them out there, say Mum's the word. M-U-H-M is how her last name is spelled. I've met her. She would do a great job. She's a consistent conservative who believes in law and order. So my picks are up. You can find them on the website, 971talk.com. It's downloadable. You can download it and print it off if you need to and take it with you to the voting booth. And we'll have plenty of time to talk about it now. But now people can read it, and they can make this decision for themselves.
I just sent the link. If you're on social media, by the way, watching the show, I just linked it. That way you can click on that, and then you scroll down, you'll be able to see something that says download full 2026 Missouri voter guide. There you go.
Thank you for doing that, Kim. All right. I've gone a little long in that segment. We'll be back in just a minute with the St. Louis Morning Brief.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Wet roadways, but light traffic. So if you are headed out, just, be careful on the roads. But at this hour, we look good as far as volume goes. 55 looks great. Down south into downtown, we are quiet through North County, looking good on the Illinois side as well. Don't forget, 44 still closed in both directions between the Poplar Street Bridge and the Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge, all due to the sinkhole. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hey, when it comes to your roof, boy, it's protecting you today. That rain is falling all over the place. When's the last time you had it checked, right? You get your oil changed occasionally. You have to get other things checked, your furnace, your air conditioner. When's the last time you checked your roof? You probably take it for granted. Don't do that anymore. Just call Corel Roofing. If you're looking for a company you can trust, somebody I know personally who fixed my roof, put a new roof on for me. He's done great work for a lot of people I know. People here at the radio station, my listeners, my friends. I know a lot of people that Curtis has done this for, and he's courteous. He is trustworthy. He's a veteran. He's a great dad. You're going to enjoy working with him, and he loves what he does. He is passionate about it, which makes a huge difference in my opinion. He will fight for you when it comes to that insurance company if they're pushing back on whether or not you need a new roof. Curtis will crawl up on the roof with him and make his case for why you should get a new roof. If you've been turned down, let Curtis take a run at it. He loves doing that. 314-222-9529. That's 222-9529. If you need a roofing company, I recommend Corel Roofing. Go to CorelRoofingCo.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-284-1238. 800-284-1238. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-284-1238.
Bill, that's a big smile for an old politician.
I'm thinking about our plan. It's slick enough to make a lobbyist blush. First, we hoodwink voters with Amendment 5. Tell them it's a tax cut. Once they're hooked, we decide who pays the higher taxes.
So it's not a tax cut plan, and we don't get a say?
Right, just swaps who pays the tax, but it does remove 3 voter-passed taxpayer constitutional protections. That lets us levy new taxes on services, increase sales taxes, and even tax home sales. And voters will no longer get to vote on tax hikes.
Higher sales taxes on groceries, gas, service taxes on doctor visits, childcare, and even rent on apartments. Jeez. Taxes could exceed 20%.
Sure, they figure that up to 80% of taxpayers will pay more taxes. Many, hundreds more. Seniors, they'll get hit even harder. But our big donors will cut a fat hog.
The ones getting butchered by Amendment 5 are most taxpayers. I'm voting no on 5.
Paid for by Missourians for fair taxation.
St. Louis Morning Brief.
All right, I do have an update on the whole sinkhole debacle because remember, MoDOT had initially said they were hoping to reopen that stretch of Interstate 44 that's been impacted and closed during repairs. They were hoping to open it last week. That clearly didn't happen. So now we're going on 2 weeks. They're optimistic is the way that they've been phrasing it, that they'll be able to reopen it this weekend. But the problem is with more rain in our forecast, that's what they're saying could delay things. Their machinery can't operate under those conditions. And they're also saying, Mark, that because of the sewer system being impacted with this sinkhole, they're warning people who live in the surrounding area, hey, get all the things up from your basement because there's a decent shot you'll have some flooding.
Wow. Yeah, that's not a surprise. Well, I mean, I know they need to get it done right. So I'm glad that they've kind of taken their time doing it. I'm still shocked it took them so long to shut it down to begin with. But at least they know it's not an actual sinkhole. I mean, we've been calling it a sinkhole, but it's basically just erosion because of a water main break, right? I mean, that's what they determined.
Yeah, but wouldn't a sinkhole, I don't know how you'd officially define a sinkhole.
So we had a sinkhole in my neighborhood one time, and the reason there was a sinkhole there is that when they cleared all the land to build the houses, they had to backfill some low areas, and they put a bunch of tree waste in there, like big trees that they had cut down. And slowly over the years, those trees deteriorated, and the whole earth sunk down below it. And in some cases, what they worry about is that there's a geological problem like they had with a lake out in Wildwood one time where the whole lake just suddenly drained and it opened up into a cavern down below. That's officially a sinkhole. So that's not what this is. This is just erosion connected to a water main break, which should make it easier to repair because they don't have to worry about it happening again as long as they don't have another water main break there.
Yeah, they did say it would make it easier to repair.
Yes.
So that's a good thing. Yes. But I guess I thought that would still classify as a sinkhole, but ultimately it doesn't really matter. Point is they're fixing it. Okay, so, man, I don't know what's going on with the St. Louis City Fire Department. We love our firefighters, but what was it, last week there was a firefighter who pooped in a box at the airport. Now you have an EMT with the St. Louis City Fire Department who is ticketed for driving an ambulance without an active driver's license. She, of course, says that it is active, but Channel 4 did some digging, and they're saying, nope, the judge had put a hold on it, and that this EMT had a history of, all kinds of traffic citations. Driving the wrong way, speeding, driving without insurance, failure to register a vehicle, expired plates. Fire departments come out and said, she's still employed. She's not on administrative leave. They're looking into it. They said as far as they know, her license is active. So they are waiting for a court date to resolve this matter.
Whether her license is active or not is maybe a separate issue for the fire department as to why you have somebody driving that's got that many infractions against them. Is that the best person to be driving a big, heavy vehicle? I rode in one of those things, and I can tell you the suspension sucks.
Is this for
in
your
an
ribs?
ambulance. Yes. The suspension sucks. I can tell you where every pothole is between St. Charles County and Barnes Hospital. I'm just saying. So you need to have somebody who knows what they're doing driving those units.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. You're going through intersections, your lights are on because she was responding to a call when this happened, and she crashed into another vehicle. That's the story that's being told.
Okay.
O'Fallon, Missouri police are saying that this drone program that just launched a couple weeks ago has already been successful. About 100 times they've sent these drones up, and they said it's helped them get eyes on these scenes in under a minute. So there was a situation where some kids, I guess, were trespassing at a school, and officers, for whatever reason, they're saying, according to this article on Channel 4, were about 10 minutes away. But it allowed them to get the drone up because they just keep these drones on the roof of different buildings around the city, and they just launch them, and they can get them over there, and they followed the kids.
60 to 90 seconds, they can have those things up in the air much faster than the response time for a police car.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm glad they're doing it.
Yeah, and I know other cities have looked into doing the same thing, and I don't know what the cost is for that. I can imagine it's expensive.
Well, they're sharing the cost, and the fact that they're placing them on the rooftops of QTs, because there's one on every corner, overcharging you for gas, in my opinion. But there's one on every corner, and then the drone just takes off automatically from the roof and from whichever one's closest to the scene.
Yeah, smart.
Cool. Yeah.
Officials have released surveillance in a 100-page report detailing this disturbance that involved 34 inmates at the St. Louis County Justice Center back on February 7th. This is kind of crazy. So I guess the inmates were mad about Wi-Fi. They were mad about the amount of time they get to spend outside their jail and their phone call access, and caused some sort of disturbance. The officials there at the jail were trying to de-escalate it. Well, that certainly didn't work. And so they were the inmates were moving furniture around, barricading doors, and it went on for apparently 3 hours. And the surveillance video ends when someone throws a basketball at the camera.
And knocked it off.
Knocked
it off the wall.
Yeah. So,
I've never worked in corrections, but I've talked to people who said that, if you don't give the inmates a little something to keep them occupied, things like this happen. But do they really, like, if they're convicts, isn't the idea punishment? Why are we giving them free Wi-Fi and all these? I mean, I don't know.
I didn't get my caviar. I ordered caviar.
Where's the punishment?
You gave me steak. I asked for my steak medium rare. This is well done.
Man, you are in jail. I would agree with that, Lisa. Amen. All right, coming up, we'll get to Nicole Murray. We'll get you a check of business. We got in other news. JJ Carafano is back. We'll talk to him about 7:20. Stay tuned.
It's not your typical game day look. Sunday, June 28th at Busch Stadium, the Cardinals face the Miami Marlins, and fans can receive a soccer-style Cardinals jersey presented by Purina. Clean, sporty, and unmistakably Cardinals, it brings a fresh energy to the ballpark from first pitch on, and kids take home a vibrant Cardinals soccer ball to keep the action going long after the final out. 2 ways to play, one big Sunday. Get tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
Every Sunday home game is a Kids Sunday at Busch Stadium. From Team Fred Birding games to a kid-friendly DJ, ice cream, and family-favorite activities. Sundays are built for young fans. Plus, select Sundays feature kids run the bases after the game. It's a day made for smiles, memories, and Cardinals baseball together. Make Sundays your family tradition at Busch Stadium. Tickets and details at cardinals.com/KidsSunday.
If you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Mr. Rob Miller from Harvesttown Auto Body in St. Peters did. He called Rhino Shield. Rob, what was the thought process for going with Rhino Shield as a business owner?
My family's business is over 10,000 square feet, and it did not have the curb appeal I wanted.
Rob, tell everyone how the experience was with Rhino Shield from start to finish.
The process that I liked was when you came out, you gave me all of these options that would fit my building. Our building was really faded. I don't want to have to paint my building again. 25 years is a long time to not have to worry about the outside maintenance of your building as far as paint. That's a no-brainer. That's why Rhino Shield worked for me.
Are your neighbors jealous?
I would be if I was them.
Thanks, Rob. Now it's time to call 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Genius.
Don't hate, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we've got a rainy morning here, and of course that means wet roadways. So if you are headed out, just take it easy. Right now we've got light enough traffic that it's really not causing any kind of issue. But if you are northbound on 55, it's a little bit slow right at the 55 split headed into downtown. So we had a report of an accident past Broadway, and that may be to blame. Yep, that looks like what it is. So that's a little south of the 55 split. Now, other than that, though, we look good. 270 northbound, just some moderate volume at the Clayton Road overpass, and we otherwise look fine. Eastbound 70 is a great run from Forestell into downtown. Quiet on the Illinois side as well. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I'm Bill Hemmer, and these are the most impactful moments in American history. The man who would become the world's most wanted criminal, the leader of a ruthless and violent terrorist organization, he was Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Baghdadi ruled from the playbook established by Zarqawi, using the same vicious tactics to raise and spread the presence of his jihadist group, known as ISIS, across the Middle East. Baghdadi was able to evade capture and detection for nearly a decade. That is, until October 26, 2019. Baghdadi was surrounded by United States Special Operations Forces. Baghdadi detonated a suicide vest, killing himself. It was a significant display of the power and precision of U.S. intelligence in their fight in the war on terror.
America 250 on 97.1 FM Talk. Sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Sponsored by Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Liu. Yes, Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Are your windows drafty, outdated, or hard to open? Choose Infinity from Marvin Windows. Crafted from durable fiberglass for superior energy efficiency, beauty, and performance. At Lakeside Renovation and Design, we specialize in custom-fit professional window installations that transform your home. Plus, with our lifetime workmanship warranty, you'll have peace of mind for years to come. Call Lakeside today or visit windowsbylakeside.com to schedule your free window consultation. Replace with confidence. Choose Infinity from Marvin.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated. Member SIPC and NYSE.
You feel it every time you check out. Prices up, paychecks stretched, families squeezed. That's why Ann Wagner's fighting to get government off your back and out of your way. Wagner passed the largest tax cut in American history, expanded child tax credits, ended taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security. And Wagner is working to lower costs so families keep more of their hard-earned money. But Ann Wagner knows delivering from Missouri means more than just protecting their wallets. It means protecting our streets as well. That's why Wagner fought to secure our border, deport dangerous illegal aliens, partner with law enforcement, and put predators behind bars and off our streets. so our neighborhoods and communities stay safe. Because real effective leadership protects what matters most: your money, your family, your safety. Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
Freedom has a frequency. 97.1 FM Talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
St. Louis Conservative.
I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
All right. People are complaining on the interwebs here about not being able to get to our website. I don't know why. 971talk.com. That's all you got to do. Type in 971talk.com in your browser. Don't type it into the Google search. Just type it into your browser, 971talk.com. Takes you straight to the website. You can't miss it. The voter guide is pinned to the top of the webpage. It's right there for all of you to read. Some comments have been coming in. I'll quickly address those. We're going to talk about this throughout the course of the morning. But, one of the lies that they're telling about this Amendment 5, which is the getting rid of the Missouri income tax, is that somehow it lets the legislators avoid the Hancock Amendment. That is not true. A judge has looked at this. There's nothing in it that evades the Hancock Amendment. I've got people on here arguing that taxes are going to go up for 80% of Missourians. That's a lie. That is a bald-faced lie. Now, here's the truth of it. If you vote to get rid of the income tax, it doesn't happen overnight. It's going to be phased in slowly as there are other sources of income to replace this tax. It's not going to suddenly cause a bunch of money to come to Jeff City. It's going to be a very slow, methodical, intentional process to do this. And in cases where more money is brought in, it'll force local municipalities. It protects school districts. They all have to reduce their rates if more money is coming in. That's the way it's designed to work. It's not your sales tax going up to 20%. None of that's going to happen. These are all scare tactics by the other side. What the truth is if you make $100,000 for a family of 4, you would pay $5,000 less in taxes. $5,000 that would stay in your pocket instead of going to the government, and then you decide how to spend it. So that's how I explain that whole thing, and it's all in the voter guide at 971talk.com. I just also put it out on X, the one-sheeter, which will make it easier for many of you to download and take a look at. So we'll keep talking about it all morning. 971talk.com. Let's get to Nicole Murray, please. Good morning, Nicole. Not much going on here. How are you doing?
It's Friday. I'm pumped. How are you?
It's Friday. I'm doing fine. Just trying. We've got an election coming up. You heard me talking about it there on August 4th.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to do the right thing for my people and explain exactly what all these issues are. There's like 4 statewide issues on there that people have to wrap their brains around between now and August 4th.
You're so responsible.
I'm there for him.
You don't have to pump his head up like that.
I know, right?
Nicole.
Don't worry. I'll undo that in a few minutes.
We like to keep him humble.
That's right. A little bit of both sides of the coin.
We love you for that, Nicole. Thank you. What's going on out there?
All right. Right now, futures have dropped. Thursday, the Dow Industrials gained 100. The NASDAQ down 177. The S&P 500 down 12. A new neighborhood market is slated to open in downtown St. Louis later this summer. Dorsa Market said it will sell produce, prepared foods, in-house pizza, beer, wine, and spirits, household essentials, and more. It will also have St. Louis-made gifts and merchandise and a business center with printing, copying, and other services. The proposed sale of a financially plagued nursing home in Eureka could see dozens of employees laid off from the site, at least temporarily, before any new owner takes over. St. Andrew Resources for Seniors System, which operates a network of assisted living communities across Missouri and Illinois, said it has agreed to sell its 106-bed skilled nursing facility. The Supreme Court has overturned a jury verdict awarding more than $1 million to a St. Louis gardener who said he got cancer from the popular herbicide Roundup, handing a major legal victory to Bayer. The Supreme Court ruled 7-2 that lawsuits could not be brought in state court, claiming Roundup users weren't sufficiently warned of risks of the product. Oil prices are down this morning by at least 3% as more tankers exited the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz, easing supply concerns despite a vessel coming under attack in the Gulf of Oman. West Texas Intermediate down to $69 a barrel, Brent at roughly $72. Foreigners visiting for the World Cup are obsessing over ranch dressing, and the TSA has issued guidance for those trying to ship a lifetime supply back to their home countries. UPS has announced its new Ship and Dip discount to help. From now until September 30th, UPS is offering a 20% discount on international shipping.
The Rancho.
I do have one more story, but if you want to discuss that,
Mark,
you let me know.
Mark wants to talk about ranch. You go ahead, Nicole.
All right. And finally, a robot wanted a piece of the action. A DoorDash bot in Arizona was in the process of delivering food when it rerouted and entered the area where cops were in the middle of a weapons-related incident. The robot, known as Dot, refused to move and got a front row seat to the action. A DoorDash box truck was eventually called in to take it away.
Now, Drew punched my mic up, and I didn't know it was on. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. I will forgive you. It's quite all right. It's an interesting story. They're obsessing over ranch. I get it.
They are. How smart on UPS's part to say, hey, we'll ship this for you. You don't have to stick it in your luggage. Have you ever had that happen when you're flying, that you put something in your luggage that you check, but it like explodes because of the pressure, and you end up with like shampoo or
nail polish
something all over the inside of your luggage?
Yep.
Ugh. You imagine if it was ranch dressing.
You always have to put it in a bag. Well, people love ranch dressing. They probably wouldn't even be mad if their clothes smelled like ranch. I do like ranch, but I don't really see the obsession with it.
Oh my gosh, how? It goes with everything.
Yeah, but they can't get it. It's not offered widely in Europe at all? It's not offered at all?
From my understanding, no.
I don't remember looking for it when I was there, which is why I'm surprised to hear that it's not there at all. But I don't remember asking for, ranch dressing. Of course, mainly I ate Guinness stew when I was in Ireland, so there would have been no salad involved for me to need ranch dressing.
It's not even salad that it's the best on. It's dipping it with vegetables or pizza. Do you do that, Nicole?
I don't do it a lot, but when I like the buffalo chicken with the blue cheese or the ranch. I'll do either or, but not on a regular basis. It has to be a treat.
My granddaughter she double dips. Whenever we take her out to eat, she has her ketchup container and ranch right next to it, and she dips one, she dips it in the other one, and she eats it. So they had to get food to go one day, and she's in the back seat, and she wanted her dips, and my wife said, no ketchup in my car. You are not allowed to have ketchup in my car. You're going to have to eat it without it. And out of the back seat comes this little voice that says, how about ranch? Like she wanted at least her ranch dressing. But that was a no too in her grandma's car. So
wow, strict.
Yep. Strict.
Man, you should see the back of my car with a 3-year-old.
Right?
It's embarrassing. When people open up the back of my car, I'm like, please don't judge. Okay?
I don't even have a kid. You should see the back of my car.
So I find like he'll eat an apple and he'll leave it places. And so I'll be cleaning and tidying things up. Like yesterday, I'm opening up this little backpack that he loves to bring when the little in-home daycare he goes to. I opened up the backpack and he packed one of my husband's construction gloves, just one, all kinds of cars, and then he packs his own snacks sometimes. And yesterday I found 2 sausages that were a day old, not even in a bag, just like sitting in the backpack.
In there, just in case.
The most random nasty stuff that I find around the house.
Yum.
Everybody needs emergency sausage.
Oh my goodness. Enjoy breakfast, everybody.
Yeah, no kidding. Nicole, have a great weekend.
Thanks so much, guys.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. That's good. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, just quickly here. A little bit of feedback here again from the message board this morning. With people are very upset with me. They're very upset with some of my picks on here. I'm sorry. Read it. Just read it. Somebody said, "Why would I ever give up my constitutional right to petition? That's crazy." No, it's not crazy, because you've been taken advantage of. Maybe you're smart enough or not smart enough to realize that, but they take advantage of the system. All this does is put in a safeguard that says it's not going to be easy for you to come to Missouri and just lie about something and spend $2 million on it or $10 million on it and put it in the Missouri Constitution. It's that simple. No, we're not putting up with that anymore. It's the reason we've got some of these crazy things in the Constitution right now. Somebody suggested we hold a constitutional convention in Missouri and start from scratch to get rid of some of this crazy stuff. I don't see that happening. But this is one way to at least prevent more abuse going forward. So yes on 4 and yes on 5. The guide is up, 971talk.com. We'll be back with that other news in just a minute.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Crews have been working on an accident northbound 55 past Broadway. Watch for that one in the right lane. We've got wet roadways this morning, so take it easy. Accident eastbound 70 at Natural Bridge. That is causing a delay. And we've got one westbound 6440 just before the Boone Bridge. This one, they've moved off as far as they can to the right-hand side. It really isn't causing a delay through there, but you will see some flashing lights. Now, eastbound 64 looks good from out west into downtown. 44 is in good shape, but just take it easy on the wet roads. We're fine on the Illinois side as well. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hey, Victory Men's Health is about to open up their brand new location over in Edwardsville, Glen Carbon area. I'll have details when that is open for business, but man, it's going to be beautiful. A little bigger than some of their other offices, and can't wait to see it for myself. In the meantime, if you haven't reached out to Victory, go to victorymenshealth.com and make an appointment. There are already a bunch of locations, one in O'Fallon, Illinois, if you're on the east side, and then you'll have the second one in Edwardsville soon. There's 3 in Missouri, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, out off Winghaven, and in Sunset Hills, down off of basically Watson and Lindbergh. You go in there, they take a blood draw, they check things like PSA numbers, they check for testosterone levels, they check for vitamin deficiencies, and they set you on a course of correction. It's what they do. Gentlemen, they can do cancer and cardiovascular screenings. They're paying attention to you in ways your general practitioner is not. And it's all medically supervised by medical doctors who've spent 30 years in the men's health industry. Go to Victory Men's Health today. Make your appointment. Tell them Marc Cox sent you. It's victorymenshealth.com.
Today, the Cards, the Marlins. Siteman Cancer Center game time 7:15. Play ball! Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
Hi, Sandy. What's that? I'm reading up on this Amendment 4 on the August ballot. What's 4? Amendment 4 absurdly creates a new un-American minority veto power, but only for ballot issues that we citizens put on the ballot. Don't they say it'll protect conservative ideas? Truth gets in the way of their story. Amendment 4 would mean as few as 5% of the most liberal statewide voters in one congressional district could veto any good conservative idea or reform, even when a big majority supports it. That does sound un-American. How did that get on the ballot? The politicians put it there, and it would empower a small minority of liberals. They could stop funding for police, stop tax cuts, or any other common sense conservative policy we support. Only 5%? One district? That would make it nearly impossible to pass needed reforms or rein in politicians. Yep, Amendment 4 is a misguided power grab by politicians. I'm voting no on Amendment 4. Right. I'm not giving up my constitutional rights. It's a hard no on 4.
Paid for by Missourians for Fair Governance.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Looking for a career change? The Gelman team with eXp Realty is hiring. Their unmatched blueprint to success, real support, and proven systems help agents take their business to the next level, level up your future and your earning potential. Take the first step to see if you're a perfect fit at thegelmanteam.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
The time is 6:50. This time check is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
You're back with Marc Cox and Kim St. Onge. The Marc Cox Morning Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
What's happening?
Go, you know the thing.
What the hell is going on?
In other news.
Well, we just had a little food service issue out at the airport. Remember that story, Kim?
No, I forgot completely.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, St. Louis Fire Department, I've got some new potential employees for you here. There are 3 Wendy's employees who have been fired because they apparently didn't do something in a box. They took food from the trash and were seen spitting on it before serving it to an unhappy customer. They always say you never want to piss off the cook, right? Maybe this is that coming true. These are 3 Wendy's employees in South Carolina arrested after they were seen pulling the food out of the trash, spitting on it. They were charged with food tampering, all because they were mad at a customer who had an issue with her meal. She ordered it from the drive-thru. When she refused a refund or requested a refund, the staff members took the food back. Then they offered to remake the order, which she ultimately accepted before driving away. But when they remade the order, you know what they did to it.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, and now they're in big trouble for it.
I'd like to think that I'm intentionally very nice to people who, serve me food.
Yep.
But man, what if I looked at someone the wrong way and they spit on my food or did something else really weird to it and I just will never know?
You will probably just never know.
That's really disgusting.
Be nice.
Some cool recognition for the St. Louis Zoo. It was named the best free attraction in the United States by the USA Today 10 Best Readers' Choice Awards. This is the second time the zoo has won first place in this category. And to celebrate, the zoo is going to be offering guests different things for free on July 1st. So, for example, they have that dinosaur, I think it is, exhibit or something like that. So all-day admission for free to that. All-day admission to the stingrays. Unlimited rides on the carousel, unlimited rides on the train, all-day admission to the 4D theater.
Okay.
Anyway, there's a whole list of things where they're offering it for free. Giraffe feedings, face paintings, zoo parking, and caricatures will still be charged at regular rates. So just a heads up on that.
All right. Good to know. By the way, I really thought, I don't know why I thought this. I thought that Carnival Cruise Line had addressed its issue. And its issue has been, for some reason, attracting a clientele that tends to get in fights in the food court, and particularly when they're in line trying to get on the ship. Well, it happened again. A massive brawl broke out in the Carnival Cruise Line customs line, and 16 people have now been banned from Carnival Cruise Lines, like forever. And apparently Carnival was pretty happy that it was U.S. customs officials that had to deal with it this time. It was a checkpoint at the Miami-Dade County port where they were getting off the boat and apparently coming back through customs, and it was a knockdown, drag-out fight, including more than a dozen people of all genders. And
so
here we go again. It's just so trashy.
Why?
I just don't. It's a standing joke. I don't know who would consider going to Carnival now. They've got to fix this problem.
But in general, is it just Carnival, or has
Carnival's
there been other issues on cruise lines?
I'm sure there may have been another issue or two, but in terms of people fist fighting, it always seems to come from a Carnival cruise ship. I don't know. That just out of hand. They got to raise their prices or something. They got to do something to filter out some of the idiots.
All right, whether you love him or you hate him, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are being talked about right now because they are rumored to be getting married on July 3rd, and people are speculating that the actual wedding venue is Madison Square Garden, which I have a hard time believing. They apparently wrote on the invitations that wedding guests are told to bring absolutely no gifts.
Okay, well, I would hope so. If you're a billionaire, probably. What could she possibly need?
There's some new pots and pans that are non-toxic that she would really like. She doesn't have the cash to get it for herself.
Probably not.
Could you contribute to her honeymoon fund, please?
But she's also she's a grown adult now. I mean, how old is she?
She's my age. She's 36.
So she's 36. I mean, she's lived on alone as a billionaire for years now. She'll be fine.
Well, and haven't we all, Get
her a blender.
Is that a thing? When people say no gifts, everyone usually brings a gift. Let's be real.
I don't know
For
that
people's
that's
birthday
true.
parties, you say no gifts, everyone brings a gift.
I don't. Don't tell me you don't want a gift. You're not getting one.
All right, noted for Mark.
Thank you, just in case. Is Sue with us today? I guess she's not on here for this one. The St. Louis Zoo, again, you mentioned, has been voted best attraction.
Yeah.
Have you reported this in the news today, and I missed it?
No. Not in the news.
So
No. I just did this for another news.
Named best.
Yeah.
If Sue Thomas was on this with us this morning, she would know that for years and years, this has been a sticking point for me. The zoo is not free. If you don't live here, you get to visit it for free. But if you live in the St. Louis region, you pay for it.
You pay taxes.
It comes out of your
yeah.
taxes that go to it. So nothing is for free. I just want to point that out again. I know you were talking about the free stuff they're giving away down there, but none of it.
No additional money beyond what you pay in taxes. Let me rephrase it to make Mark happy.
None of it is free. Come on, people. We're fighting the same problem in New York where they want free stuff. Coming up, we'll get to Jim Carafano and Eric Burlison. Stay tuned.
One of the biggest gifts you can give your family is peace of mind. That's why I trust and recommend Civia Law. They've helped so many families, including mine, right here in our community with estate planning, wills, trusts, powers of attorney, and elder law issues. I've seen how stressful it can be when a loved one passes without a plan. Families are left confused, sometimes tied up in probate court, and it can cost so much in time and money. But with Civia Law, you don't have to worry about that. They'll walk you through everything and even deliver your completed documents in just 2 weeks from your first appointment. And here's something special just for you. Mention the Annie Fry Show, and the first 10 listeners right now will get a free strategy session. That's a $300 value. 833-995-WILL. Just be sure to mention the Annie Fry Show when you call. Civia Law has 7 convenient locations across Illinois and Missouri, including in Edwardsville, Swansea, and Creve Coeur. Secure your legacy and protect the people you love. Call 833-995-WILL. That's 833-995-WILL, or visit civialaw.com.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
It's not your typical game day look. Sunday, June 28th at Busch Stadium, the Cardinals face the Miami Marlins, and fans can receive a soccer-style Cardinals jersey presented by Purina. Clean, sporty, and unmistakably Cardinals, it brings a fresh energy to the ballpark from first pitch on, and kids take home a vibrant Cardinals soccer ball to keep the action going long after the final out. 2 ways to play, one big Sunday. Get tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
Every Sunday home game is a Kids Sunday at Busch Stadium. From Team Fred Birding games to a kid-friendly DJ, ice cream, and family-favorite activities, Sundays are built for young fans. Plus, select Sundays feature kids run the bases after the game. It's a day made for smiles, memories, and Cardinals baseball together. Make Sundays your family tradition at Busch Stadium. Tickets and details at cardinals.com/KidsSunday.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Four ships have reportedly turned around. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what Iran state media is saying the day after Iran attacked a cargo ship with a drone. And even though President Trump insists the deal with Iran as nuclear talks continue open the Strait of Hormuz to a free flow of shipping again.
A UN agency says it temporarily paused evacuations until the safety of ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz can be guaranteed. And the IRGC Navy has warned any ship passing through a new shipping route without Iran's coordination is unacceptable and dangerous. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says Iran will be judged not by its rhetoric, but by whether ships are actually moving through the strait.
That's Fox's Madeline Rivera. Despite those issues, oil prices down more than 2% again this morning. Thousands still feared missing, maybe buried in Venezuela's twin earthquake disaster.
And rescue crews are racing against time, searching through mountains of rubble as powerful aftershocks threaten to bring down even more structures. And teams are also battling landslides while pulling survivors from the debris.
Fox Weather's Katie Byrne. At least 235 people are dead in Venezuela, more than 4,300 injured. President Trump will return today to the Washington Hilton, where in April a gunman tried to attack the White House Correspondents' Dinner. This time the president will address a Faith and Freedom Coalition conference, and while conservatives gather there is strife on the left.
According to this new report from Axios, a bunch of centrist House Democrats are, quote, preparing for war if the new slate of far-left members who just won their Democratic primaries ultimately end up joining their ranks in Congress and try to hijack the House floor to extract ideological concessions. 13 House Democratic members and candidates signed on to a Promise to America initiative. They're pledging to stay true to centrist principles, including capitalism over socialism, fiscal discipline, strong borders, and pride in the United States.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. America's listening to Fox News.
You've got to try the new TikTok diet.
Just ask Chat.
I just take blue-green algae.
You just have to eat kale. Kale, kale, kale.
I read you should put butter in your coffee.
Or you could trust your gut. When it comes to your energy, digestion, and overall health, how do you know what's actually right for you? That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple, at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to show what's going on inside you right now. Not trends, not guesses, your biology. With your results, Viome gives you clear, personalized, actionable guidance. Which foods help you, which ones don't, and which supplements your body actually can benefit from. All based on the world's largest gut health databases and thousands of clinical research studies. Many people who use Viome report better digestion, more energy, and an improved mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing.
And maybe still eat the kale?
Maybe. Learn more at Viome.com/know. V as in Victor, IOME.com/KNOW. And use coupon code VIOME50 to save $50 off your purchase.
And eat everything blue.
No.
We made it to Friday. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. Cloudy and 70 degrees here downtown. It is 7:03. An update on that massive sinkhole downtown. The Missouri Department of Transportation is hoping to reopen Interstate 44 near the Dome this weekend. That stretch of I-44 there at the intersection of Biddle and Broadway, it's been closed for 2 weeks during repairs. This week, crews poured a concrete-like material to stabilize the area. MoDOT says repairs are going well, but the rain could delay that process because the heavy machinery can't operate in severe weather. A local EMT has been ticketed for driving an ambulance without an active driver's license. Katrina Hopper was cited for driving with a suspended or revoked license after she crashed into another vehicle on June 9th while responding to a call for the St. Louis City Fire Department. Hopper says her license is active. Channel 4 discovered Hopper has a history of traffic violations for things like speeding, driving on the wrong side of the road without insurance, and failure to register a vehicle. A new drone program designed to help police get eyes on a scene faster is already having success in O'Fallon, Missouri. Police started the drone system about 2 weeks ago and say they've already launched these drones about 100 times. Last week, for example, police used one of the drones for a call about some kids trespassing at a school, allowing them to see the kids within about 60 seconds, while officers in that case were still about 10 minutes away. In sports, last night's Cardinals game against the Diamondbacks was postponed because of weather. They'll make it up July 23rd. Tonight, the Cards host the Marlins at 7:15. Also happening tonight, that is the NHL draft, and man, that could be a game changer for the Blues. They have 4 first-round picks and 13 selections overall. And did you hear it was a late game? Team USA lost to Turkey 3-2. They're still in the World Cup. They'll be facing Bosnia next week in the knockout round. 70 degrees now coming up on 5 minutes after the hour. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Issues on the wet roads this morning, and thank you to Keith for letting me know about this one. This is an accident eastbound 270 before Lindbergh. They've got the right side blocked. Looks like the right lanes, though. We've got emergency vehicles on the scene and some, well, at least headed for the scene. And we've got a jam on eastbound 70. There was an accident at Natural Bridge, that one blocking the left lanes. Accident out west, southbound 61 at Highway 70 this morning. We also had one on northbound 55 just before Arsenal, but it looks like that one has been cleared. You really do need to take it easy on these wet roads this morning. We are quiet through North County. We look good on 44, and 6440 looks good from out west. Into downtown, we're quiet on the Illinois side as well. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The slow-moving weather pattern is going to stay with us into Saturday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms on this Friday, 81. Friday night, showers and thunderstorms scattered about 70. Saturday, partly sunny, scattered showers and thunderstorms, so the action becomes somewhat limited on Saturday. 89 degrees, and Sunday, sunny, hot, and a steam bath on Sunday afternoon, 95. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
70 degrees here in downtown St. Louis at the Arch, coming up on 7:07. You can take the show with you wherever you go. Listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show from anywhere on our free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show as Kim and I debate the definition of a sinkhole. I think you're right. I think this is a sinkhole.
Wow.
Technically a sinkhole. It's not the kind of, it's not a geological sinkhole.
Oh, okay.
It's just caused by some erosion. So I'm going to give you that one.
Could you save that clip where Mark said Kim is right?
I got you. You and my wife. I don't want to save that on the rare times that comes out of my mouth. Anyway, glad you're back with us. It looks like they're thinking of reopening the interstate downtown, which would be good heading into the July 4th weekend. I'm sure they'd love to get that done before then. So traffic can move through here for people that are traveling.
Well, yeah, I mean, think about people who are coming downtown next weekend for the big 4th of July celebration, taking Interstate 44, and that might be one of the exits at Broadway and Biddle that they would potentially be getting off at or getting, using to get back on.
Sure.
It's a big deal.
They've got to get that figured out. If you're just joining us this morning and you were waiting on the voter guide to get out, I have posted that. I should say, Tricia posted it, but it's up on the 971 webpage. A few people earlier were saying, I can't find it. I'm not quite sure why, but just to be safe, I have now reposted it in a separate post from the live feed this morning. If you're watching on the Window World webcam, simply the best for less. We appreciate that. If you're on one of the socials, I posted a link to it separately on the Facebook page. I've also put it out on X to make it easy for you to get to. There's a one-pager there on X, and then there's a link to the full guide on the Facebook feed this morning, just so you can download it. You can see who my endorsements are locally. I've had to. There are hundreds of races. I mean, honestly, between city councils and legislative seats and all that stuff. There's just no way for me to cover all of them. I've tried to pick what I think are the big, important races where very clearly whoever wins the primary is likely to win the general. And I'm giving you my opinion on who those candidates are, and certainly on the big issues like the amendments. Most people, they've heard us talk about 4 and 5. They've heard the ads being run by the Missouri Realtors Association on this station that are completely misleading, in my opinion, on both of those issues. And in the voter guide, I get to the truth on them. And you can then decide after that if it's something you support or don't support, and then you see my recommendation on it. So you can take a look at those. It's important to get the information out there. Share it with your friends. Share the link, and make sure that we get decent voter turnout in August. That's going to be the key to this. As usual, I mean, it sounds like a broken record. I don't understand people who don't vote. I'm sorry. We're not the same people. I vote in every election. Every election if I'm not in the hospital, which that hasn't happened yet, I'm at the polls voting. I make sure I do it. And I hound people about it in my household to the point that it probably irritates them. But there's no excuse to not vote.
Well, and if you don't want to run the risk of something coming up on Election Day, then you can take advantage of no excuse absentee voting, which opens up on July 21st. More and more conservatives are doing that. And I think for a long time, we were kind of saying, don't do that vote on Election Day. And we're realizing, man, the Democrats are the ones who have really taken advantage of this absentee voting. And so let's just jump on the bandwagon there and make sure that we can cast a ballot. Because I understand things do come up the day of. But unless you have a real good excuse, and there are a few of them, you should be out there voting.
Yes, you should. Could not agree more. I would say think what's going to happen in about a week. We are going to, as a nation, celebrate 250 years in this country. And the patriots who died to make that possible 250 years ago were dying for you to have a voice in your government and not to be ruled by king. We don't have kings in America, despite some of the idiots who get together and march with purple hair and nose rings. There are no kings in America. There are elected politicians and elected issues, and you are fortunate enough, if you're an American citizen, to get to go voice your opinion on those whenever an election's held. And to abdicate that responsibility is unimaginable to me. I don't know why you would do that. Don't ever turn around and complain about anything if you don't go cast your vote. That's all I would say. So please, please, please reconsider that if you're one of those people that always finds an excuse. Well, my vote doesn't count. Your vote does count. And particularly in an August election or an April election when there's traditionally less voter turnout than there would be for a November election, it's that much more important. 2 or 3 votes could change the outcome of a county council seat or a county executive seat or one of these issues. 2 or 3 votes in each precinct. So please go vote. There is no excuse ever, particularly with the fact that it's basically voting month. I mean, you can vote starting July 21st in Missouri for any reason, and you have all the way up until August 4th. So somewhere in there, I'm sure you have a spare 10 minutes to go vote.
Well, and if we don't like the outcome of the election, like it looks like it's going a direction we don't want it to, we can just take a page out of California's playbook, Los Angeles, and we'll just drop tens of thousands of ballots at the last minute, and then we can just have Missouri counting them for weeks on end.
Sure. And then we can just harvest ballots.
Yeah, I love it. Let's pay the homeless people. I'm sorry. Let's pay the unhoused people to make sure that they vote for conservatives.
Yeah, I love that. All right. Not a good idea, by the way. Hey, shout out to William, who's chimed in on the Facebook page here, listening from Houston, Texas this morning. We appreciate that, William. Thank you for tuning in and listening. I know they love the vote down in Texas. And you're going to have an important vote down there, too, with that crazy Tallarico dude who's running for Senate. Get out there and vote. That one won't be – I don't think that's till November, though. So you've already had your primary elections down there. Ours is August 4th. Just remember that. All right, coming up, we're going to get to J.J. Carafano. An important morning for that. If you missed the news overnight, a tanker – I'm not sure it was a oil tanker – but a ship going through the Strait of Hormuz got hit by an Iranian drone last night. Minimal damage. I think it injured some of the glass on the bridge. It's not even sure. It's not even clear who did it, but they're blaming the Iranians for it. And there's a lot of reaction to that. We'll talk about that whole MOU and what's going on with Lebanon and Israel. We'll get Jim's take on all that because he's the foreign policy expert with the Heritage Foundation. Bottom of the hour, Congressman Eric Burlison is in today for the Capitol Beat. Byron Donaldson. I almost called him Sam Donaldson. That's a sign of maybe having been around too long because Sam has not been active in politics or anything else for a long time. Byron Donalds was out yesterday with some of this stuff. Why don't we get to a little bit of that in the short list there, if you don't mind, Drew? Go ahead and use the numbers that I gave you a little earlier here. You got them.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
The Senate sucks. I'm just going to come out and say it. They suck. This is not hard.
Thank you. Thank you, Byron Donalds, for telling the truth about the Save America Act, where everybody seems to agree, 80 or 85% of Americans, that we need to make sure we know who's voting in America, but not the United States Senate or the Republicans that run it.
Every study that's ever been done shows that non-citizens are not voting in our elections.
Who ran that again? Please remind me. Who are these people? First of all, you won't show us the voter rolls, so how do we know? That would be my question for all these people that claim there's no evidence that illegals vote. Oh, there's evidence of it, and you're trying to hide the bulk of that evidence by not turning over your voter rolls.
If this country doesn't, one way or another, end birthright citizenship, this country doesn't have a future. Citizenship has to be sacred and precious.
Yeah, Stephen Miller there saying, hey, we still don't have the birthright citizenship decision. SCOTUS released a couple of important immigration decisions. We're going to talk more about those a little later with our friends from the Federation for American Immigration Reform.
He is trying to rid our country of black and brown people.
Maxwell Frost. They think that not giving temporary protected status to people to just stay here forever for no reason is trying to get rid of brown and black people. Isn't that interesting? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do with these people. Everything that happens to Maxwell Frost, racism is the cause of it. He only sees race. He only sees the color of the skin, and that's got nothing to do with it. We have laws. This law, in fact, has been honored by even the Obama administration. But Biden changed everything and tried to protect people beyond the point when they should be here seeking asylum. When basically, as Tom Homan said, they didn't come here to seek asylum or safety. They came here to find a job. And they did so illegally, and they were covered by this temporary protective system. And the Supreme Court says you can't do that anymore, and the administration can end it. So that's another one of these big decisions that happened yesterday. Quick break here. We will get to J.J. Carafano when we come back.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we've had some issues on the wet roads this morning. Accident eastbound 70 at Natural Bridge. Those were in the left lanes. They've been trying to get that off to the right. There was an accident eastbound 270 before Lindbergh. Watch for that on the right side. And let's see, we also had some volume. There was an earlier accident, southbound 61 at 70, but it looks like that's been cleared. We do have some moderate volume westbound on 6440. Mainly from Big Bend through 170. Northbound 270 is in good shape at this hour, and we look fine on the Illinois side and quiet through North County. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Zero Res wants to help you clean your home. Big summer savings right now. 3 rooms clean starting at $129. Plus, take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and ask for the 97.1 special.
Last year, I had back pain radiating down my right leg. The pain was so bad I was willing to cut my leg off to stop the pain. I could barely walk and had to stoop over when I did just to take pressure off the spine. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. In my professional career, I've represented thousands of people who've had herniated discs and issues with their neck and back, but never fully appreciated what they were going through until it was my turn. It's like trying to describe colors to a blind person who's never had sight. All I can tell you is it hurt like hell, but worse. My daily walk was gone, and that bothered me a great deal. Then I thought of all of you and how much more devastating this type of injury could be for you. My life stopped. I now feel your pain. Just know at Morgan & Morgan, we got your back. I understand. Morgan means more.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
All right. I don't know if you were aware of this or not, but did you know that fewer than half, only about 40% of Americans are considered financially prepared to maintain their current standard of living once they retire? How about you? Have you asked yourself that question? Are you within a few years of retirement and not considered how you're going to pay for everything? Maybe you save some money in a 401k or a retirement fund with your business. How do you pay for it? This is all they do at the Retirement Advisor Group. That's why I bring it up, not to depress you, but to tell you that there's help out there. Bob Kershaw, Tammy Kershaw, this is what their practice has been doing for 40 years, led by Thomas Helbig, and they can sit down with you in just a few minutes, talk to you about how to guarantee that you can keep that nest egg safe, that it's not going to go away. You can still take advantage of gains in the market, and you can build a structured income plan so you know how much money is going to be in the bank each month to pay your bills and live your dream in retirement. It's really not any more complicated than that. Sit down with Bob and Tammy for free. They'll consult with you. Call them at 314-993-9494. Tell them Mark sent you. It's retirementkey.com.
Today, the Cards, the Marlins. Siteman Cancer Center game time 7:15. Play ball. Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
It is coming up on 7:22. This time check is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
It comes as U.S. officials confirm the IRGC attacked a Singapore-flagged cargo ship with a drone as it tried to cross the Strait of Hormuz today, testing peace talks.
You know, I was born in the South. South Bronx.
All right, the man, the myth, the legend is back. Jim Carafano from the Heritage Foundation. Good morning.
Hey, you know, Mark, I love listening to you do commercials. I would buy all that stuff, and I don't even know what it is or need it. But it's just like Mark said, I should have this. This sounds. I think I need this.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you saying it. We'll get you signed up, Jim. Don't worry. I can give you the phone number. Oh, man. I played that bite from Fox News reporting on this, another attack in the Strait. They're blaming it on the IRGC. What do we make of this in the middle of them meeting on this memorandum?
Yeah, I'm in the camp that thinks all this focus on the deal with the Iranians and what's happening is irrelevant. First of all, one of the things Trump has done is kind of restructure the entire global energy network, and the stranglehold on the Straits isn't as relevant as it was a month ago. And also, there's no way that the RGC can actually, in a sustained way, close the Straits. They just don't have the capability to do that. And Trump can go back whenever he wants, and he's already demonstrated the political will and the military capability to do that. If the Iranians ever get real out of line on anything, whether it's the Straits or he'll just mow the grass. what's really important is not the deal that everybody focuses on and everybody breathlessly, like how many ships got through the Strait today. What's really, really important is the things that now that literally we have eliminated Iran as a regional power in the Middle East, the things we do to leverage that. So what's happening in reconstruction in Gaza, in Syria, in Lebanon? How is the integration of the Gulf Coast and Israel going in terms of building collective security and economic cooperation? How are we doing in building this kind of more resilient and complex ways to transit through corridors to the Middle East? What are we doing to leverage partnerships to the north of Iran in the South Caucasus and Central Asia? These are the things that really matter, not what the heck's going on in the Strait today and, are they going to sign a deal or not? So it so reminds me, of the story, the cop asked the guy, what are you doing? You're out here in the middle of the night. What are you doing? He goes, I'm looking for my car keys. He goes, well, where's your car? He goes, it's down the street. He goes, well, what are you doing here? He goes, well, the light's better here. I mean,
you're looking in the wrong spot.
Everybody's just looking in the wrong spot, in my opinion.
J.D. Vance had some strong words for some of the Israeli leaders and basically saying, you better be careful the way that you're treating the Trump administration because he's consistently had your back and we're really the only country that's done that. Do you how big of an issue is it with Israel and its dealings with Lebanon and Hezbollah?
You know what I love about the U.S.-Israeli relationship is this is like a real marriage, right? Where the partners can actually yell and scream at each other when they're not happy because they know that bond is unbreakable. And so it's actually a mark of deep honesty and trust and confidence that we can be honest with each other. And when somebody in Israel trash talks the United States can say, dude, that is like totally out of line. And we're not like, oh, you can't say that. Of course I can say that because we are partners. And that partnership is unbreakable. And it's not the Israelis kind of leading America around by the nose. It is not that. And it is not that the Israelis will just do whatever we tell them to do because they're going to defend their country and they don't care what we do. And it's not that either. It's we have a partnership. And today in the region, everybody looks at America and Israel and says, this is the only game in town. These are the only people with power and influence that can change the shape of this region. So that partnership's not going anywhere.
Yeah. And the Abraham Accords, continue to work out to Trump's advantage with those pre-existing relationships that clearly paid off with the cooperation of some of these countries during the war with Iran, right? And that's what you talked about. It's kind of recalibrated the way energy is being moved around that region. Am I right?
Absolutely. Even, like problematic, like the Qataris. Okay. Big surprise. Our largest military base in the region is in Qatar, or one of them. We always know the Qataris have played all sides.
Yes.
They footsies with the Iranians and everybody. But even the Qataris are cleaning up their act because they recognize that the only way forward is U.S., Israel, partners in the region.
Yeah.
This is every president of the United States since Harry Truman has tried to say, how do we fix things here so we're not running back every 5 minutes and fighting with brush fires or trying to keep people from killing each other. And Trump has made more progress on putting us on that path in 6 months than every American president has made since 1945.
That's a big statement, and it's true. I hope people are paying attention. Jim, have yourself a great weekend, and the folks from the Retirement Advisory Group will be reaching out to you this afternoon.
Hey, happy 4th. Happy 250.
Yes, sir. Happy 4th of July. We'll talk to you soon, my friend. Jim Carafano from the Heritage Foundation, heritage.org. Coming up, we'll talk to Congressman Eric Burlison on the Capitol Beat. Stay tuned.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You care about every detail, and so does Purina. Every ingredient in their pet food comes from trusted sources, and every ingredient has a purpose. Whether that purpose is to provide just the right nutrients your pet needs or a flavor they will love, Purina has over 250 recipes made without artificial flavors or preservatives for you to choose from. You're sure to find something both you and your pet will love. Learn more at Purina.com.
Corey, from Air Comfort Service? Why are you standing next to my AC?
I'm standing behind our work.
But it's 8 p.m. You're just going to stand behind my air conditioner?
Yeah, pretty much.
Could you turn off the sprinkler then?
Absolutely. At Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation, we take pride in our work. If you need a new air conditioner or HVAC system, you can trust we'll install the equipment correctly. Plus, for a limited time, qualify for rebates up to $2,600 and 0% financing for up to 72 months. For a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we've had some issues on the roads this morning, and it's mainly, of course, because they're wet. We generally have lighter volume on a Friday, but there is an accident eastbound 270 before Lindbergh. Watch for that one on the right side, a jam there. Also a jam on eastbound 70 at Natural Bridge. They had the left lanes blocked there. They've been working to get that off to the right. And now an accident on eastbound 6440 east of Kings Highway. That is causing a jam behind it as well. 44 eastbound a little slow at 141. 55 looks good at this hour. Down south into downtown. We've got, let's see. Yeah, things are looking good on the Illinois side in general and on the bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Honey, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
Have you ever redone a space in your home and you feel like it's great, then you live with it for a while and you realize maybe you have some regrets, like you don't have enough storage space or poor lighting or it's just not the right layout? That's when you need to call the experts at Lakeside Renovation and Design. This is a veteran-founded, family-owned company. They have this beautiful showroom in the Chesterfield Valley I've been to. You can go there yourself, talk to some of the in-house designers there. Yes, I intentionally said in-house because the entire team is in-house. No outsourcing, no third parties you're having to call and hound to make sure that they're actually showing up to do the work that you're having them do on your home. You can trust that Lakeside is going to get the job done right, and they're going to back it up with a lifetime workmanship warranty. But what's cool is that one of their designers can work with you to customize any space in your home. So, for example, let's say in your kitchen you just need better seating or whatever it is. There was actually a picture that Lakeside posted on its Instagram page, I think it's on Facebook too, talking about this homeowner's vision wanting better space to host. And so they actually have this dedicated beverage station, a serving space. It's really, really cool. And they could do the exact same thing in your home. Maybe you want a better area in your basement, a finished basement to have family and friends over, or you want a more spa-like bathroom with the luxurious heated floors or that separate tub. All these things Lakeside Renovation and Design can do for your home. It's lakesiderd.com. Again, it's Lakeside Renovation and Design, lakesiderd.com.
License number GL250000615.
You're cooking dinner. The lights go out. You flip the breaker and forget about it.
But what if it keeps tripping?
Trips once, your breaker's doing its job. Keeps tripping? That's a warning. Bad wiring or something worse.
Do people just keep flipping it?
Most do until they can't anymore.
Call Grasser. We'll stop the trip.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
You feel it every time you check out. Prices up, paychecks stretched, families squeezed. That's why Ann Wagner's fighting to get government off your back and out of your way. Wagner passed the largest tax cut in American history, expanded child tax credits, ended taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security. And Wagner is working to lower costs so families keep more of their hard-earned money. But Ann Wagner knows delivering from Missouri means more than just protecting their wallets. It means protecting our streets as well. That's why Wagner fought to secure our border, deport dangerous illegal aliens, partner with law enforcement, and put predators behind bars and off our streets so our neighborhoods and communities stay safe. Because real effective leadership protects what matters most: your money, your family, your safety. Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
Happy birthday, America, in 2026. Get used to hearing the word semi-quincentennial. America 250 on 97.1 FM Talk. Sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Capitol Beat.
And we welcome Congressman Eric Burlison to the line this morning. Congressman, welcome back. How are you?
Doing good. How are you guys?
I'm doing fine. I have to play for you my favorite soundbite from a congressman yesterday, and I apologize that it's not you, but I thought this was my favorite right here. Here we go.
Man, the Senate sucks. I'm just going to come out and say it. They suck. This is not hard. 80% of the American people want the Save America Act to pass. Not 80% of Republicans, 80% of the American people. And the only organization that refused to act is the United States Senate.
Yeah, good for Byron Donalds. I know he's about to be the next governor of Florida, but wow, somebody finally came out and just plain spoken the truth on this.
Yeah, Byron's awesome. I'm going to miss him when he goes to Florida, but
yeah,
he's a true leader. And and I agree with everything he said. The Senate sucks. And they, it's a bunch of people who were allowed somehow, and I'm not talking about our senators. I'm going to call them out. I'm going to say people like Tom Tillis, Cornyn, Mitch McConnell, Susan Collins, Murkowski, I could go on. These people don't want to actually do anything. They do not want to lift a finger. Their staff pamper them. And the sad part is we think we have a majority. When you eliminate these people who are do-nothings, we have no majority. And so that's why the Senate really sucks, and why these people have been a cancer on the Republican Party for decades. And I don't know other than just removing them, I don't know what else we can do.
I read a story that Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna is undertaking her own effort to block things in the House until something's done on the Save America Act. You guys have already passed it, though, right? I mean, the holdup is still in the Senate.
We did. We passed it. The other day I realized we did not pass the H.R. 2, which was basically the language that puts into law all of the things that our Department of Homeland Security needs to make sure that the border is truly secure. You close the loopholes that Joe Biden once used. We haven't passed H.R. 2. And when we want, that's another issue that we're trying to put forward in the House side to say to our leadership, hey, wait a minute. Why haven't we passed H.R. 2? We passed Save America Act. And their response is, well, we have members who may not like some of the provisions of H.R. 2. Really? The same people that voted for it 2 years ago. And here we are. We're back at Obamacare, where when Republicans weren't actually in the majority or weren't in power, where their votes didn't really matter, they would vote to repeal Obamacare all day long, multiple times. And yet when it actually mattered, they wouldn't do it. So you've got me at really frustrated this week.
Yeah,
with our party.
I'm sure it is.
You know, Trump, wasn't it like a housing bill that he was supposed to sign, and he canceled that because he said, I'm not signing that until you guys get, Save America Act passed the Senate. Do you think that he'll just continue doing that, kind of as leverage to say, you guys need to figure this out?
Oh, I hope so. Because the truth is that housing bill is a piece of crap. And so you have, Senator Tim Scott, right? Not Senator Rick Scott, but Tim Scott from South Carolina.
Right.
He's a horrible negotiator. Horrible. Okay? This guy should never be president of the United States because it's clear he cannot negotiate himself out of a paper bag. When it came to this housing bill, he gave Elizabeth Warren as many amendments as he had. So, for example, when they said, well, we're going to allow 20 provisions, we'll take 10. Elizabeth, you can decide your 10.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? We're in the majority, so I would tell Elizabeth to go pound sand. We're in the majority. But but to give her 10 provisions without even determining what those are going to be and how bad they might be is absurd. So when the bill came back over here and leadership is saying, that's the only way that it was going to get out of the Senate. Well, it's the only way it got out of the Senate because we had a bad negotiator. We had Tim Scott negotiating for us. And Donald Trump, thank God, I voted against that bill, that housing bill. Very few people voted against it. It goes to the president, and the president says, what is this piece of garbage? It's an Elizabeth Warren bill. By the end of the day, it's got some good things in it, but at the end of the day, the Republican Party's answer to housing is basically more Section 8, more federal funding for housing. That is not the Republican Party that I remember.
No.
That is not the Republican Party. I mean, if anything, we should have been deregulating building codes, deregulating all these construction costs that drive up the cost of building a home. We should have been cutting taxes on capital gains tax and other things that cause people to not want to sell homes.
But
this is not the Republican Party I remember.
But it's shocking because, the media loves it. It was bipartisan. It was overwhelmingly bipartisan. Well, now we know why, because we gave away the farm in the bill to the likes of Elizabeth Warren. That's absolutely amazing. We've got Congressman Eric Burlison on the line with us this morning for the Capitol Beat. Today I released my voter guide for the August election, including a couple of big issues that I know were near and dear to your heart when you were here in Missouri in the Senate, and that is some form of initiative petition reform, which we'll get to vote on in August, and also eliminating the Missouri income tax. And, the opposition is throwing millions of dollars against both of these, Eric, and I don't know how you feel about it. I'm a little frustrated that our side hasn't done more to fight back.
Never has money for these initiative petitions. The left seems to have a mechanism in place and big donors that are willing to throw money behind these efforts on these national, statewide initiative petitions. So
yes.
It is what it is. Unfortunately, we've never had that big donor that just kind of steps in and writes that check. But you're right. These are very important issues. The left has consistently used our very weak rules on getting voter initiatives to the ballots to the point where our Constitution is not like the U.S. Constitution. Our Constitution is like a novel. I mean, it is several hundred pages long. It is not. You have things like bingo and our like marijuana laws, you name it, and all of that stuff. If there's ever any need for the legislature to step in and kind of make a correction, they can't. So it is a horrendous way to govern a state. And yet we turned it over to billionaires from outside of the state of Missouri.
Yeah, it's a shame.
So we've got to fix it. We have to. That's why I think that they really put forward the best correction, which is the concurrent what they call the concurrent adoption. So that means that you pass it. It needs anything that's going to be put in the Missouri Constitution has to pass in each of the 8 congressional districts, and then also has to pass the state as a whole. So that means if Southwest Missouri, what that does is it protects an area. So, for example, if the whole rest of the state says we want to do something that forces the arch to come down, like tear down the arch, St. Louis would say, well, that's ridiculous. That would be absolutely ridiculous. But if the whole state, and I'm using this is an absurd example. Let me give you another example. If you said the rest of the state said people shouldn't be able to drive cars through caves. Well, in Southwest Missouri, we have fantastic caverns. We do that. and if the whole rest of the state wanted to eliminate that and make it illegal, everybody in Southwest Missouri would feel that as being an attack. You should be able to let minority, parts of the state be able to step up and say, no, that should not be in the Constitution. I mean, of all things, not in the Constitution.
Yeah, it should have. I've argued there should be a higher threshold. That's all this does. If something's popular enough that it needs to be added to the Missouri Constitution, require that it's got enough support on both sides to get 50% plus one vote in all 8 congressional districts. Then you're guaranteed that a true majority of Missourians support those things. So, boy, I just hope people are paying attention. Congressman, we always appreciate your time, and I'm hoping we can get a better phone line for you next time. We're having a little trouble hearing you this morning.
I'm sorry. I'll try to do that.
All right. We'll get it fixed next time, my friend. Thank you very much, and happy July 4th. Congressman Eric Burlison joining us there. I saw several people commenting on the phone line quality this morning. It did cut out a little bit.
And it seems like, I don't know where he is right now, but it seems like a number of these Congress members have had issues.
He was in a cave in southern Missouri.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains it. Yeah.
He said he was driving through a cave. I don't know. He said they like to do that down there. But to his point, it's absurd, but you have to look at those arguments like that. Like I said yesterday, if some grassroots effort on housing affordability decided they wanted to cap the amount you could charge for your house, and they spend enough money to get it on the ballot, don't you think there are enough stupid people in Missouri, in St. Louis and Kansas City that would rush to the polls thinking they were going to get something for half price, and they'd pass something like that, and the next thing you know, it's in the Constitution? All Amendment 4 does is spread that out across the state and say, okay, if 50% plus one vote agree on this in each of the 8 congressional districts, then we'll put it in the Constitution. And if not, we're not going to. It has to meet a higher standard to be in the Missouri Constitution. If not, it's up to the legislature, who are our representatives, who we elect to send down there to debate issues like that, to make that decision. And that's why I'm a hard yes on Amendment 4. We'll get to a quick break here. Kim, what are we talking about on Kim on a Whim?
You've probably heard of rage baiting, but have you heard about ragecation?
No.
What the heck is it, and are you guilty of it?
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we've had a couple of issues on the roads this morning, and they continue to be problems. There was an accident on eastbound 70, really near Natural Bridge. They've got the left lanes blocked. Here's the good news. It looks like they cleared the accident eastbound 270 before Lindbergh. And we had a stall eastbound 44 past 141. That appears to be gone. So some good news out there as well. Now, eastbound 40, pardon me, is slowing at the inner belt. And we look good on the Illinois side. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Bill, that's a big smile for an old politician.
I'm thinking about our plan. It's slick enough to make a lobbyist blush. First, we hoodwink voters with Amendment 5. Tell them it's a tax cut. Once they're hooked, we decide who pays the higher taxes.
So it's not a tax cut plan, and we don't get a say?
Right, just swaps who pays the tax, but it does remove 3 voter-passed taxpayer constitutional protections. That lets us levy new taxes on services, increase sales taxes, and even tax home sales. And voters will no longer get to vote on tax hikes.
Higher sales taxes on groceries, gas, service taxes on doctor visits, childcare, and even rent on apartments. Jeez. Taxes could exceed 20%.
Sure, they figure that up to 80% of taxpayers will pay more taxes. Many, hundreds more. Seniors, they'll get hit even harder, but our big donors will cut a fat hog.
The ones getting butchered by Amendment 5 are most taxpayers. I'm voting no on 5.
Paid for by Missourians for fair taxation.
Never miss a beat. Take 97.1 FM Talk with you. The voices you trust, Marc Cox, Annie Fry, Mark Reardon, Scott Jennings, and more are just a tap away with the Odyssey app. Stream 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis conservative.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Hey, just on the website for Home Shield Foundation Repairs, you can go see the some of the different jobs they've done and can do. We were just talking about sinkholes earlier. The biggest problem a lot of people have with their concrete foundations is erosion. And when that starts to happen, if you've got the soil changing and moving underneath your house, that's a problem. You need an expert like my friend Matt Hayes to come out and take a look at that. If your foundation is shifting, it can affect your drywall, can cause cracks in the drywall and the bricks. If you have that on the front of your house, it can kind of torque your house. And they have a way of fixing that. They dig down alongside your foundation. They can put in piering if that's what it takes. If you've got water in your basement, they can go in and they can fill those cracks. They can put in drain tiles, whatever it takes to get rid of that problem. And then they'll give you a lifetime warranty on the work. It's why what they do is so important, and it's why it's so important to deal with somebody you can trust, like Matt Hayes, who owns this local family-owned company, and he's been doing this for over 20 years, and you can take his word for it. 314-271-9900. That's HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Tony La Russa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet, first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis conservative. Kim on a whim.
I think most of you know what rage baiting is, where someone posts something that's intentionally just going to make people mad. That's probably not even true.
Yes.
There's just maybe a hint of truth to it, but they know that it's going to stir up a lot of people, and that will lead them to engage, and then that just ends up helping them. They get clicks, is what it is. Well, now apparently we're living in the age of rage booking or ragecations, which is described as impulsive travel purchases driven by negative emotions rather than a healthy wanderlust.
So, like the Southwest Airlines ad, need to get away? Have you seen those?
Yeah.
Is it like that?
I guess there was someone who said that she had a really stressful business meeting and booked a $12,000 vacation to Bali. Thank goodness she came to her senses and canceled that. But there was some research by Fay Travel Insurance that said more than half of American travelers say that they feel exhausted. 1 in 5 admits they've booked a trip out of anger, stress, or heartbreak.
Travel can be exhausting, too.
Especially if you have kids.
Right. I mean, so I would imagine people with small children don't rage travel, probably, right? It's probably somebody that has flexibility in their schedule to take vacation on short notice and get the hell out of Dodge.
It says the habits most popular among millennials, which is my age group, which would be, I want to say the cutoff is maybe 29, 30, and it goes up to, I want to say, mid-40s.
Okay.
And it says more than a third of them say that they've booked a ragecation.
I mean, I could see sometimes you just want to get away if you've had a stressful time at work or your work environment is not something that makes you happy.
More than half of global travelers cite rest and recharge as their number one motivation for leisure travel in 2026.
I might be more likely to want to book a tour of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail after a particularly negative outcome in an election.
But
that would be rage travel for me. Then I just need to get away.
Of course, it goes back to Kentucky.
Well, you pick it. I don't care. I'll head over to Ben Holiday in Kansas City. Just get away. Go
You're
to a
still
distillery.
recharging, though. I mean, how many people are going because they want to travel the world? I mean, yeah, I have wanted to travel the world, but that's usually not my reasoning. My reasoning is because I want to rest and recharge. I want to get away. I want to just not have any responsibility except, okay, what do I want to do today? Do I want to go to the ocean or do I want to go sit by the pool?
Well, I wonder what rage regret is. Bendy just said on there, followed by depression due to your travel debt.
Well, thank you. I mean, that's part of the issue is that people are driven by their emotions get the best of them. They make these big decisions that are very costly. Maybe they actually go on them. They feel great in the moment when they're sitting by the beach drinking their Mai Tai, and then they get home and they look at their credit card bill because they charged it all, and they realize that now they're even more stressed than when they went, before they went.
Yes.
So don't rage book, ragecation, whatever they're calling it. I mean, that's what's funny is they come up with these new terms where it's like rage baiting. Now we have ragecation or rage booking. It's like they just want to attach these words to everything now to describe these really dumb decisions that people are making based on their emotions.
Yeah, well, I mean, even rage baiting, I mean, I know sometimes that's done. There's an intentionality there just to get clicks. So it's not really the same thing.
Well, it's different.
You're doing it out of rage of whatever you just saw.
Well, you're booking a trip out of rage,
Right,
apparently.
right.
Who would ever have such a bad meeting that you would book a $12,000 trip to Bali?
Well, again, that's why I'm saying this is not your everyday schmo that's doing that, right?
It's a lot of. I wonder if you actually did a breakdown with this study and you found how many people are booking these trips out of rage or stress. If you saw the breakdown between people who identify as liberal versus conservative, I bet you there'd be a stark difference.
I bet there was a spike probably in November of 2024.
A lot of ragecation.
On the liberal side.
Many
of them were to Ireland.
It was a record year for these airlines of all the celebrities who were getting the heck out of the United States because their emotions, they couldn't handle Donald Trump being president. Not my president.
And most of it was first class, shockingly.
Man, it's their emotions. They don't even know how to handle them. That's part of the issues is that they just go off their emotions and their emotions are changing by the minute. And so and we're expected to adhere to all of them.
It's true. Coming up, we're going to talk to Ali Triolo. She's the RNC Director of Election Integrity. Now, not a more important time to talk to her with the Save America Act still maybe forever pending in the United States Senate. It's just crazy. And lots of recent examples of cases where they've proven that people just flat out lie on their election form and deny that they're an illegal, and they vote anyway. So we need to crack down on that. We're also going to talk to Ira Mehlman from the Federation for American Immigration Reform, and Mark Walters will join us on behalf of the Second Amendment Foundation to talk about the SCOTUS ruling yesterday.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
Hi, Sandy. What's that? I'm reading up on this Amendment 4 on the August ballot. What's 4? Amendment 4 absurdly creates a new un-American minority veto power, but only for ballot issues that we citizens put on the ballot.
Don't they say it'll protect conservative ideas?
Truth gets in the way of their story. Amendment 4 would mean as few as 5% of the most liberal statewide voters in one congressional district could veto any good conservative idea or reform, even when a big majority supports it.
That does sound un-American. How did that get on the ballot?
The politicians put it there, and it would empower a small minority of liberals. They could stop funding for police, stop tax cuts, or any other common sense conservative policy we support.
Only 5%? One district? That would make it nearly impossible to pass needed reforms or rein in politicians.
Yep, Amendment 4 is a misguided power grab by politicians. I'm voting no on Amendment 4.
Right. I'm not giving up my constitutional rights. It's a hard no on 4.
Paid for by Missourians for Fair Governance.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Found a lot more bodies in Venezuela. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The number of confirmed deaths in the twin earthquake disaster more than doubled. It's now 589, but the injuries were revised lower, now just under 3,000, with survivors shaken up.
The walls collapsed. In fact, we barely made it out at the time.
Many more unaccounted for in the rubble.
Crews are searching for survivors who may still be stuck under the many buildings and homes that collapsed. The Trump administration is now pledging $150 million in aid. That includes $50 million for relief partners on the ground, along with a $100 million contribution to a United Nations humanitarian fund. The U.S. is also sending military personnel, search and rescue crews, as well as planes and Navy ships to Venezuela.
Fox's Carly Shimkus. Iran state media claims 3 more ships have been turned back trying to pass through the Strait of Hormuz after attacking a cargo ship with a drone.
And that attack on that Singapore flag ship in the Strait of Hormuz is considered a major test of this ongoing 60-day deal between the U.S. and Iran. And President Trump seemingly addressing the situation yesterday while speaking to some farmers at the White House.
We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon.
Trump says the strait remains open and emphasized Iran could become a new market for American farmers, saying they'll use unfrozen Iranian assets to buy U.S. crops.
Fox's Jeff Paul in Tel Aviv. There's Christian controversy in Texas schools.
A final vote is set for today by the Texas State Board of Education that could approve a plan to include selections from the Bible in public school reading lists. The examples include picture books for younger kids featuring tales such as David and Goliath, and selections from the Christian scriptures in later elementary classes. Opponents claim the move violates constitutional mandates to separate church and state, and that the proposal favors Christianity.
Fox's Eben Brown. America's listening to Fox News.
Please be advised, you may want to stop eating the following foods immediately: broccoli, kale, bean sprouts, blueberries, quinoa, spinach.
Wait, what? I thought those were good for me.
Turns out, not for everyone, because what's healthy for one person can cause inflammation for another. And the only way to really know what your body needs is to listen to it.
Listen how?
That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple, at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to understand what's happening inside you right now. When your results come in, you'll learn exactly which foods to eat, which to avoid, and which supplements are right for you, all based on the world's largest RNA-based human biology database and thousands of clinical research studies. And many people who use Viome report more energy, better digestion, and a better mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing. Learn more at Viome.com/gut. V as in Victor, IOME.com/GUT. And use coupon code GUTHEALTH50 to save $50 off your purchase. Viome. Trust your gut.
Well, a dreary start here on this Friday morning. It is 8:03, 70 degrees downtown. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. An update on that massive sinkhole downtown. The Missouri Department of Transportation is hoping to reopen Interstate 44 near the Dome this weekend. Keep in mind that stretch of I-44 at the intersection of Biddle and Broadway has been closed for 2 weeks during repairs. This week, crews poured a concrete-like material to stabilize the area. MoDOT says repairs are going well, but unfortunately, rain could delay the process because the heavy machinery can't operate in severe weather. A local EMT has been ticketed for driving an ambulance without a valid driver's license. Katrina Hopper was cited for driving with a suspended or revoked license after she crashed into another vehicle on June 9th while responding to a call for the St. Louis City Fire Department. Hopper says her license is active. Channel 4 discovered Hopper has a history of traffic violations for things like speeding, driving without insurance, and failure to register a vehicle. A new drone program designed to help police get eyes on a scene faster is already having success in O'Fallon, Missouri. Police started using the drone system about 2 weeks ago and say they've already launched the drones about 100 times. Last week, for example, police used one of these drones for a call about some kids trespassing at a school, allowing them to see the kids within about 60 seconds, while officers in that case were still about 10 minutes away. In sports, last night's Cardinals game against the Diamondbacks postponed because of the weather. They'll be making it up July 23rd. Tonight, Cards hosting the Marlins 7:15 first pitch. Tonight's NHL draft, man, that could be a game changer for the Blues. That's because they have 4 first-round picks and 13 selections overall. And Team USA lost to Turkey 3-2 the final. They are still, though, in the World Cup. They'll be facing Bosnia next week in the knockout round. Coming up on 8:05, 70 degrees downtown. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, the accident on eastbound 70 at Natural Bridge had been blocking the left lanes. Well, they have shut down eastbound 70 right now to try to get that cleared, traffic being diverted around it. Again, eastbound 70 is closed and traffic being diverted onto Natural Bridge around an accident. And, of course, that is creating a jam behind it. Right now it's back to Lindbergh, but this is all going on eastbound 70 in front of the airport. Westbound 70 is fine in that area. There was an earlier accident eastbound on Page, just a little east of 270, and some slow-moving traffic there, although it looks like that's improving. And a little bit of volume eastbound 64 right at 170, and that had backed up southbound 170. We've got southbound 270 with some moderate volume just north of 64. And if you are headed in from Illinois, we look fine on the bridges downtown. It's quiet on the Illinois side this morning. Be careful on the wet roads. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The slow-moving weather pattern is going to stay with us into Saturday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms on this Friday, 81. Friday night, showers and thunderstorms scattered about 70. Saturday, partly sunny, scattered showers and thunderstorms, so the action becomes somewhat limited on Saturday, 89 degrees, and Sunday, sunny, hot, and a steam bath on Sunday afternoon, 95. This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Today, the Cards, the Marlins. Siteman Cancer Center game time 7:15. Play ball. Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
Well, it's not a steam bath right now. We're only at about 70 degrees. Our time is 8:07. Hey, you can take the show with you wherever you go. Listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show from anywhere on our free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Always remember, if you ain't first, you're last.
All right, welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show. If you're not first, you're last on Election Day, too. So the voter guide is out. That's the big news this morning from here on the show side of things, and I've got it published on 971talk.com. Just go there. It's the first thing you'll see pinned to the top of the page. It's on the Facebook page. If you are on Facebook this morning, I put it out on Twitter with a link to it as well, so it should make it easy for you to get to. Read it, learn it, love it, live it. If you get my meaning there. It's there for you. You can do what you want with it. I've tried to explain these amendments, and, of course, I have put out my own endorsements here in some local races that I think are the most key, that are contested primaries in which the winner is heavily favored to win the general. So by the time November gets around here, whoever has won this in August will almost be guaranteed to win that main office. And that's why I felt it was important. A couple of the big ones here, just to cover them. St. Charles County executive race, 3 people running. Of course, Steve Ellman, Jason Law, Bill Eigel. My endorsement here officially is for Eigel. And I think that's important. I respect the other two. But I think Bill Eigel is a change agent, and he's a fighter, and he's going to walk into the county building and shake things up. And that's clearly what needs to happen, I think, in that opinion. Same with the Director of Elections out there in St. Charles County, a contested election between Kurt Barr and Jen Olson. My choice is Jen Olson. I think she's going to make a difference out there when it comes to election integrity and how elections are handled, and transparency, and those things are very important. So take a look at the voter guide there, 971talk.com. Read it over. If you have questions, ask them on social media. A lot of people have been doing that this morning. And on the text line, 314-241-9797. We've been getting lots of feedback on there this morning, and somebody just texted in, thank you for the effort to produce 6 pages. That's the point. The point of the voter guide is not brevity. The point of the voter guide is to explain to you what each of these 4 amendments are, so that you're not misled by some of the ads that are running on my own radio station here that I have no control over. Somebody asked that earlier. Why can't you just stop that? I'm like, well, it's a commercial radio station, and you get to, as we often say, I hear Andy say this all the time, you don't have to stick a quarter into your dash to listen to what we do here, but it is a commercial radio station that charges people to run ads. And when it comes to election ads, they have less control over content. And they're not given much discretion in deciding, well, we like this ad or we don't like that ad. They have to run it unless it's obscene or something crazy like that. So I can't stop it from running. What I can tell you is these ads against Amendment 4 and Amendment 5 are intentionally designed to mislead people who are conservative into believing that these are somehow not conservative issues. Paying less in taxes, conservative issue. Not allowing outside billionaires to buy their way into Missouri's Constitution with radical ideas. I'm sorry. It's a conservative issue. When you can stop that, you do. And we need to do it. We just need to raise the threshold to amend the Missouri Constitution. So yes on 4, yes on 5. There are a couple other amendments on there. And you've now got plenty of time to read them and digest it. And then, as always, make your own opinion. I hope you do that. I hope you get information from lots of sources, but feel free to use the voter guide to form that opinion. Hopefully you make the right one, which is voting with me.
Which is what Mark says. That's the right I'm just
decision. Saying, you have options here, or you can vote with me, which would be the correct way to do it. Coming up, we're going to talk to Allie Triolo. She is RNC Director of Election Integrity. And first of all, we'll have her explain exactly what that office is doing these days to ensure election integrity. Part of it is, to me, in my mind, would be showing ID to get to vote, which is a common sense approach. But we have to get the SAVE Act passed. And even this morning, we've got people in the Senate who don't want to do that. I had a great bite a few minutes ago from Maria Bartiromo. Had Senator Rick Scott on this morning talking about this, and he's just laying out the truth that there are people in the United States Senate who don't have the guts to change it. Listen to this.
Yeah, I'm sure. But why is it that the Senate can't get the Save America Act across the finish line? Is it just a couple of senators who don't want to advance President Trump's agenda, or is it just the Democrats?
Well, we have the votes. We have the votes for voter ID. We have the votes for you have to be an American registered to vote. But it's going to take either getting rid of the filibuster or saying we're going to talk until we're done talking. The filibuster was to stop debate. You just still didn't have to have 60 votes to pass a bill. So we have a choice: get rid of the filibuster because the Democrats are abusing it, or say to ourselves, we're going to stay on the bill until the Democrats are tired of talking, and we're going to pass it. That's how the Civil Rights Act was passed in the 1960s. So that's our choices. I mean, it's as simple as that. Now we can break it down into smaller bites and try that. We can try to get something passed with reconciliation. Very difficult with the existing parliamentarian. But the American public wants this. The president wants this. So we've got to figure out how to get it done. We can't take no for an answer.
I'm glad that Rick Scott hasn't given up.
Everything I've heard from Congress members is that the parliamentarian is terrible.
Replace her.
So, yeah, why?
They could replace her.
Why not go that route? How difficult is it to replace her?
John Thune could replace her.
John Thune could be ousted, too. I know it would be difficult, but that is a possibility. The Senate could do that.
It just boils my blood how they're dragging their feet on all of this stuff. That's for sure what's going on. All right, Drew, let's go ahead and get to our top stories here before we get along any further.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
What Sotomayor didn't tell the American people is if you look at the last 10 years of data, nearly 9 out of 10 people who claim asylum end up with an order of removal because they don't qualify for asylum. They're not escaping fear and persecution from the homeland because of race, religion, or political affiliation. They're coming here for a job.
Thank you. Tom Holman laying it out yesterday on Sotomayor, who, of course, was opposed to the decision on temporary protected status. But the Supreme Court says, hey, this has been abused, and we're not putting up with it anymore.
It's time for us to have as diverse of a caucus as the people.
Well, she's good for headlines, but not much else. That's Cori Bush running in the 1st Congressional District, trying to unseat Wesley Bell, who removed her from Congress 2 years short of her congressional pension. So she's fighting to get back there and do nothing for 2 more years.
Well, actually, it was the Democrats that voted every time to shut them down. Republicans voted every time to open them up.
Pass.
So
just give me
we didn't shut them down. You shut them down.
Yeah. Thank you. Marquayne Mullen there arguing with that ridiculous Congresswoman DeLauro, the one with the purple hair, who's like 85 years old and has no business still being in the House. Yeah, he was talking about immigration yesterday.
The Senate sucks. I'm just going to come out and say it. They suck. This is not hard.
Thank you, Byron Donalds, future governor of the state of Florida. I'm going to miss him, but it sounds like Florida is going to get a heck of a leader down there who's willing to speak the truth and not hold back when it comes to what's going on in politics these days with the Save America Act. All right, quick break. The RNC Director of Election Integrity is coming up.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we've got an accident now on the wet roads on eastbound 44 before Pacific. Looks like a white van got spun out there and is blocking the 2 right lanes, or at least the right lane and the right shoulder. So expect a delay out there. I'm starting to see a backup. Now, the other accident that's really causing delays is eastbound 70 at Natural Bridge. And in fact, they've closed 70 and are diverting traffic on Natural Bridge. So if you are eastbound 70 past the airport, it's really slow at this hour. And that jam goes back to about Lindbergh. Now, other than that, it's not bad. It's a typical Friday morning. Eastbound 64 looks great from out west into downtown. There's a little bit of moderate volume on southbound 270 at 64. We are quiet on the Illinois side. This report brought to you by the fabulous people at the Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Here's a World Soccer Championship preview.
Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance, only paying for what you need. Australia and Paraguay both have lots to play for in their final group stage match in Santa Clara. Both have an opportunity to finish second in Group D, which could produce a more favorable knockout round matchup. Paraguay will be shorthanded due to a red card in their last match. Australia looks to build off a decent second half against the USA. I'm Mike Conti.
All right, you hear me brag about Rhino Shield all the time. Well, I'm telling you, it's the truth. I'm a satisfied customer of Rhino Shield, this protective coating on the outside of my house, and what a difference it has made, quite frankly, because when you put this on your house, it's like this magic coating goes on the outside, and it holds its color because it reflects 90% of the sun's rays. It doesn't fade with the rain and the snow and the sleet and everything beating against it. When it hails, it just bounces off. We've seen evidence of that. One of the best decisions I made as a homeowner was deciding to use Rhino Shield. It maintained the structural, architectural look of my home, and it lasts and lasts and lasts. I had it on my house for the last 17 and a half years I owned it. There's a 25-year warranty. That transfers to the next buyer. To the next owner, I should say. So have Darren come over. He can show you the before and after pictures. It just pops. Rhino Shield is beautifully durable, and I highly recommend you call him today, 877-25-RHINO, or online at 877-25rhino.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw. When we meet our clients for the first time, they have built up a lifetime of savings. Their question is, what can we do with this money so we can live comfortably the rest of our lives? First, we develop a strategy to protect your nest egg from any market losses. Then, we build your own personalized structured income plan that will generate you an income the rest of your life. We put you in control of your money.
You've earned it, and it's our job to make sure you enjoy it. Let our team show you how you can have the retirement of your dreams. Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. You will also get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees retire with confidence for 40 years. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Marc Cox is St. Louis conservative.
Well, I told you earlier that election integrity is a big deal to me. It's why I've made an early endorsement in the race out in St. Charles County for director elections. You need people who want transparency, who want to make sure that the only people voting are the people that are supposed to be voting. Right now, we're lucky enough to have Allie Triolo with us, RNC Director of Election Integrity. And Allie, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. This obviously is an issue important to a lot of us. So we just played a bite from Rick Scott in the U.S. Senate saying, we could do this if we wanted to. If there was a will to do it, we could pass the Save America Act. We just haven't found a way to get that done yet. There are just a few key people blocking it.
You know what? President Trump has made a big push to pass the Save America Act because we know that secure elections are the backbone of our nation. And so obviously the House has passed this and the Senate is trying to get this over the finish line. But what we really need to be talking about is why do Democrats continue to vote against voter ID and other common sense election integrity measures that more than 80% of Americans support? That is the problem right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I loved what Byron Donald said about that earlier as well. Listen to
Just
this.
the other day, President Obama opened up his presidential library in Chicago. You needed an ID to attend the event. So if you're going to show up for President Obama's library, you got to present a voter ID, a photo ID to gain access to that event. But to vote in our elections, you don't have to do that? That makes no sense.
I would agree with him. How about you?
Yeah, you're exactly right. And listen, this is the typical Democrat Party rules for thee, not for me. We know they require ID when it benefits them. John Ossoff, requiring photo ID to attend all of his campaign events. We know socialist leader and czar Mamdani requiring 3 forms of ID to simply volunteer to shovel snow back in the winter months. So it is absolutely ridiculous, and I have so many examples of this. But what we know is America is behind. America is the best country on earth, but sadly, our elections are behind what dozens of other countries do. Many other nations around the world, they require photo ID, they require proof of citizenship, and there is no excuse that as the best nation on earth, our elections also aren't the best and most secure on earth.
You know, usually the argument we hear is what you've been talking about is that's ridiculous and it's racist to expect everyone to go get a photo ID, that people don't have the ability to do that. But it was interesting hearing Congresswoman Scanlon say that if you're requiring voter ID, she was like, you had this real ID and you had to do all these things to go get that, all this documentation you had to provide. Well, guess what? You'd have to go through that all again, because then you'd have to have something on your ID that would show that you're a U.S. citizen. So it's funny because now their approach is to try to say you'd have to do a lot more work. Even if you have a photo ID, this is going to be a lot of work for you.
No, that's simply not true at all. And this is how Democrats fearmonger and gaslight people into thinking their way or the highway. And what we saw in 2024 was a shellacking of their views with the red wave. And I think we'll continue to see that through the midterms, because people can see that the Democrats, they have no policy to run on. The only thing that is unifying the party that is so fractured, as we saw with elections in New York in the primaries, is hating Donald Trump. Donald Trump has cleaned up Washington, D.C. What are people doing? Trying to vandalize it because they hate that he's succeeding. What do Republicans want to do? Secure elections. And what do Democrats hate about it? They hate about that our elections are no longer, hopefully, going to be open to non-citizens, dead people on the voter rolls. That's why the RNC is 150 active election integrity cases right now in more than 30 states. We have a mail-in ballot security lawsuit right now before the Supreme Court. I mean, all of this is common sense. It's the law, and the only way that Democrats can maintain their power is by illegally trying to concoct votes in their favor, because Americans can see right through them.
I agree. Ali Triolo with us, RNC Director of Election Integrity. What are some of the activities you guys have undertaken in these states where you're challenging things to try to improve their election integrity? Have you had any luck?
We are winning, and the reason we are winning is because, again, the law is on our side. This is common sense. Right now, we are filing a slew of lawsuits in different states where Democrat secretaries of state actually have this never resident rule that is against state constitutions, where they essentially allow people that have never even lived in the state or sometimes even the country to vote in state elections. We just had a major win out of North Carolina. We have filed other suits in other states just this week. Also, a major thing we just did, we partnered with the New Jersey GOP to uncover hundreds of non-citizens on Garden State voter rolls, proof they were voting in state elections through a Department of Motor Vehicles loophole. We have so many different cases fighting to defend laws, like in Arizona, the proof of citizenship law in that state. That is fantastic, and Democrats continue to want to dismantle what voters have passed now for over 20 years. And then, of course, our landmark case, I need to talk about this. We're expecting a decision any day from the Supreme Court. It would stop the madness that we're seeing in California, where ballots are counted weeks after an election. What we're fighting for is Election Day remains Election Day, and all mail-in ballots nationwide have to be received by Election Day to count. So, again, we have so many different lawsuits, from defending election integrity laws to holding Democrats accountable for opposing laws that we know make no sense and are illegal.
Sounds like the RNC needs to send some folks out to the homeless camps to make sure that the Democrats aren't continuing to ballot harvest and pay people to vote for candidates. They don't even know their name. They just say, oh, sure, $5, I'll vote for that person.
Gosh, the Democrats are desperate. They are desperate to try to maintain in power, but they have nothing to show for it. Look at what we have done as Republicans in barely a year. We've passed the largest tax cuts in American history. We have defeated terrorism on the world stage. We are investing in our youth with the Trump accounts. We are securing our elections. I could go on and on about the ways that Republicans are winning. And I think what you're seeing on your TV screens, from Graham Plattner to a lot of other candidates the Democrats are putting up, they really have no direction, and the quality of who they're trying to inflate to lead their party is seriously lacking, and it's disturbing.
Yeah, Allie, congratulations on successfully getting out of TV news, too. Kim and I have both done the same thing.
It's better on this side.
You know, it's funny because this is like a perfect mix of still doing the storytelling that, of course, as journalists we love to do, but actually being able to share our views and share stories that matter, that save our country. Patriotism isn't dead, and I'm very proud to be here at the RNC.
Tell the truth, absolutely. Keep up the good work. Allie Triolo, thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
You bet. Yep, good to get her on here this morning. We're going to be back in just a couple of minutes where we'll talk to our buddy Ira Mehlman from the Federation for American Immigration Reform.
Many times, a person hires a law firm after an injury without doing research. It can be a big mistake or not. Sometimes, after you have hired a certain lawyer, you realize you made a certain mistake. But guess what? Just because you hire them doesn't mean you can't fire them. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you think you've hired the wrong firm, you may have. So do this. Google Morgan & Morgan results or visit forthepeople.com for cases just like yours. You may find that our full-service injury firm should have been your choice in the first place. Last year, almost 12,000 people discharged their law firm and hired us after further research. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com today and let's get started. Or call Pound Law on your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Looking for a smarter, safer way to invest? For a limited time, lock in a great rate with Together Credit Union's 11-month CD special. From day one, your return on investment is guaranteed. No market swings, no surprises. Just a competitive, fixed rate that steadily grows your deposit. Make your money work harder with a financial partner that puts you first. Visit a Together Credit Union branch near you or go online to togethercu.org to learn more. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. SpaceX has told investors its plans to launch a Starlink mobile service for U.S. consumers. The Financial Times reports that the move could allow the Elon Musk-led company to compete directly with Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. SpaceX already offers direct-to-cell connectivity with T-Mobile in the U.S., providing supplemental coverage from space to extend internet access to remote areas. Shares of Japanese chipmaker Kioxia slid 12% this morning after a report that the ChatGPT maker OpenAI was considering delaying its initial public offering, sparking a sell-off in AI-related shares. Kioxia is a major producer of memory chips. Its shares have surged as AI investment has boosted the chip industry. Oil prices are down this morning by more than 3% as more tankers exited the Strait of Hormuz, easing supply concerns despite a vessel coming under attack in the Gulf of Oman. West Texas Intermediate down to $69 a barrel. Brent at $72. Futures are moderately lower. That's Your Money Now.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
The board recommends approving.
Regarding that seat on the committee, we're promoting.
To boost quarterly earnings.
Every day, shareholders meet to discuss important matters about the companies you invest in. Now you can easily make your voice heard. Vanguard Investor Choice gives you a say in the companies you invest in. With just a few taps, you can set your proxy voting preference for your index funds. Visit Vanguard.com/investor choice to learn more. Vanguard investors own shares of our index funds, which own shares of the companies they invest in. Available for Vanguard index funds that participate in Investor Choice. Vanguard Marketing Corporation distributor.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads, a couple of major issues. One is the closure of eastbound 70 at Natural Bridge, and this is due to an accident there. They are diverting traffic onto Natural Bridge and around it, and of course, a jam behind it. Also, an accident. This was a white van that spun out in the right lanes, eastbound 44 before Pacific. They've got those right lanes blocked and some slow-moving traffic there. Once you get past that, things open up and look pretty good. 6440 looks great from out west into downtown. 55 is in good shape, and we look fine on the Illinois side in general and on the bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I love camping. In fact, we're using our camper right now, and it's just been a fantastic experience. We bought it at Apache Village RV up in O'Fallon. That is their new location. You can still go to their original spot in Hazelwood, but they had a vision years ago, and they bought this piece of land just south of Interstate 70 and Highway K, and they have built out a beautiful RV facility with over 300 new and used RVs on the lot. You can walk around and pick out the floor plan, whatever it is you like and the size camper you're looking for. I'll guarantee you they got it right on site up there, and their customer service, fantastic. Fantastic. My wife picked out our camper. She fell in love with it. We went up and we bought it, and then they told us, hey, listen, anything goes wrong, you're planning a trip, we will give you priority service. We'll get you in here. We're going to get it fixed so that it doesn't interrupt your trip in any way, shape, or form. If you love camping, maybe you've run across something like that before where you can't get a service appointment for weeks. What do you do then? Not at AVRV. If you're a customer, they take care of you. So if you're looking to shop for an RV, you just want a window shop, go check them out there. AVRV in O'Fallon, Missouri. Their new location. Let them make you a happy camper. It's AVRV.com.
According to MasterCard, nearly half of small businesses have been a victim of a cyber attack. As cybercrime escalates, ThrottleNet is calling on businesses to strengthen their security posture by taking a free online IT security audit right from your desk. This 3-minute online assessment provides an immediate score to see security gaps and vulnerabilities in your network. For 26 years, ThrottleNet has supported your business IT everything right here in St. Louis. In fact, no client of ThrottleNet has ever paid a ransom. So visit ThrottleNet.com/971 to take the free assessment today.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
All right, I was just talking about Michael's Flooring Outlet the other day when we had friends over, and they were commenting on our flooring. I'm like, hey, if you're shopping for flooring, here's where we got ours. And that word of mouth works for them because Mike Reynolds has been in the flooring business for coming up on 30 years now, 3 great stores, and one reason is his passion for flooring. Now, that may sound strange to you, but the man loves traveling around, making sure he's got the latest trends stocked in his stores. He loves the promise that if it's in stock, you might get it installed tomorrow. Test him on that. If you need flooring before an event you got coming up, they can get it done in a hurry. They've always got specials. You can go to their website at igotfloor.com. Check out some of the Mohawk products like the waterproof flooring, which is fantastic. That's called Redwood Select. Some of it's got an pet warranty for a lifetime. So if you got an area where Fido lives, you may want to put some of this in there. But regardless of what it is, you can shop at home. They'll bring it to you, or you can visit them. They're in Old Town St. Peters in Darden Prairie, or west on Olive from 270 there in St. Louis County. Check them out. Tell them Mark sent you. It's igotfloor.com.
From Festus to Freeburg, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Guns N' Hoses Queen of Hearts.
All right, need to get
benefiting
this-
the St. Louis Backstoppers.
Need to get this taken care of real quick. The winner of today's Queen of Hearts raffle benefiting Guns N' Hoses. Guess what? We're getting close here, folks. They drew the Queen of Clubs. So to the winner today on a $5 bet, she bought a card for $5. She wins $50. Congratulations. This is the time to get on there and buy your card. We're getting close. I know we're going to have a winner soon. Somebody's going to take home half of the projected jackpot of $17,990. That means the winner's going to take home nearly $9,000 because you get half of it. The rest of it goes to Backstoppers. STOGunsandHoses.com is the place to go to buy your tickets. All right, so I just have to say, what I would like you to do is play cut number 14 for me, please, before I get to my guest.
This horrible Supreme Court decision is in line with what Donald Trump wants to do. He is trying to rid our country of black and brown people, and he's trying to make more people undocumented.
Have you ever heard anything more ridiculous in your life? That is a congressman named Maxwell Frost, mad that the Supreme Court said, hey, the temporary in TPS means something. Let's get to Ira Mehlman with the Federation for American Immigration Reform. Welcome back, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Good to be back. Thanks very much.
Absolutely. So what do you say when you hear things like that? They held a news conference on the steps of the Supreme Court and blasted them and claimed this was somehow racist.
It's not racist. You know, the Haitians have been here now since 2010 as a result of an earthquake that took place back then. We have allowed them to remain here in the aftermath of that earthquake. It's now 16 years later. At some point, people do have to honor their commitments. When they accepted temporary protected status, they knew that eventually they would be required to go home. And we've done this not just with black and brown people. We've done it with other countries where disasters have struck, and we've allowed people to remain here temporarily. And as you pointed out, the T in TPS stands for temporary. And once you get out to 16 years, it's kind of hard to imagine that temporary means anything.
That's insane when you think about it, that they've been able to use that as justification for staying here. And then when you remove that, it's automatically racist. But that's the thing. If everything is racist, then nothing is racist. The argument that they try to make for stuff, particularly related to immigration, it just gets really old.
It does. We need to fix that. What we have allowed to happen is not just with the Haitians or with the Syrians who also lost TPS status, is that after the event happens, we give people 18 months. Your country's in a mess. We're going to allow you to remain here for an extra 18 months. What has happened, though, is you have these advocates who say, let's extend it another 18 months, another 18 months. And before you know it, they've been here for years, for decades. Then when you try to remove them, they say, you can't send us back because we've been here so long. We put down roots. If TPS is going to mean anything, if we are going to be able to afford protection to people who, for unforeseen reasons, need a little more time here in the United States, then we have to honor it ourselves. We have to be able to say, look, if your country has been in a mess for the past 16 years, it's probably not going to get any better, and it's time for you to go home and fix what needs to be fixed in your country.
It's a great point. Ira Mehlman's with us from the Federation for American Immigration Reform, also known as FAIR. And Ira, true or false? The United States is the most generous country in the world when it comes to legal immigration and asylum.
Absolutely. The United States has been taking about 1 million people a year through our legal immigration process. We have granted asylum to, I don't know the number of people, but a lot of people. And, as you alluded to, yesterday the Supreme Court also ruled on whether you can just show up at our border, stand on the other side of the border and say, I want to be let in so I can seek asylum in the United States. So these are things that the courts are dealing with, recognizing that the president does have the authority to say, people cannot come in because it's not in the interest of the nation to have large numbers of people come into the United States. We saw that under the Biden administration where people were just abusing our asylum policy. So The courts are looking at these issues, whether it is asylum, whether it's TPS, and siding with the president and saying, look, the law is very clear. You cannot abuse our asylum policy. We're not going to allow you to abuse temporary protected status. The laws, our immigration laws, are there to protect the interest of the American public. And when you allow them to be abused, you're undermining the American public.
Did I see some stipulation in that ruling related to asylum seekers, Ira, where it's like if you make it across the border to the United States, then it's different in the way that it's handled? Can you clarify that?
Yes. The question hinges on what it means to have arrived in the United States. And the advocates for the people who want unlimited asylum say that if you come to the border and encounter an officer, even if you're standing in Mexico, you have arrived in the United States. And the court said, no, arrived in the United States means you have to be in the United States. But as Justice Sotomayor pointed out, and she had a valid point, that if you come across the border illegally and you're in the United States, then you can request asylum, which kind of takes us back to the first thing that the president did when he took office in January of 2025, is he secured the border. Now you cannot get into the country very easily. Obviously, a few people make it in, but unlike under the Biden administration where you had millions of people cross and then say, I want asylum, it is very rare now that somebody gets across the border illegally and then asks for asylum. So it's got to be a combination of enforcing the law on the other side of the border and also preventing people from getting into the country illegally, which we are now doing. But, that can change from one administration to another.
That's a good point. Ira Mehlman is our guest. Ira, birthright citizenship is the next big immigration decision, the one they've clearly held till last. Any feeling on which way that's going to go here?
It's hard to read the tea leaves. You never know what the court is going to do. But this really is probably the biggest case, not just of this session of the court, but, in recent times. This literally will determine what it means to be a citizen of the United States. And it all hinges on how the court interprets the little clause there that says, and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. The 14th Amendment reads, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction of the United States are citizens. What does being subject to the jurisdiction mean? If your kids' friends come to your house, they are sort of under your jurisdiction. You can tell them to take their feet off the furniture. You can't decide, let's go get your ears pierced or decide what school they're going to because they're not under your jurisdiction. Being under the jurisdiction means more than, you're here, maybe you're from Germany, but, you still you can drive as fast as you want in Germany, but here you have to obey the speed limits. That's not, that's kind of like, well, duh. If the framers had meant, just you're here, you have to obey the laws, they wouldn't have included subject to the jurisdiction thereof. That's obvious. That being subject to the jurisdiction of the United States means much, much more than that, and we'll see how the court comes down on that.
Yeah, we're going to keep our fingers crossed for sure. Ira Mehlman, remind people how they can find out more about FAIR.
The best way is to go to the website, which is fairus.org. That's FAIRUS.org, fairus.org.
You guys have been fighting a good fight for a long time. Keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, Ira Mehlman there from FAIR. I've been up there to their Hold Your Feet to the Fire conference. They don't do that anymore, but many times over the years talking to their experts. So they do good work.
Oh, yeah, and that's been such a big issue and really the number one thing that Trump ran on.
Well, SCOTUS had another big decision. It was a Second Amendment decision yesterday, and a little special appearance by our friend Mark Walters, who normally joins us on 2A Tuesday. We're going to get to him right after the break. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We still have a little bit of a slowdown on eastbound 70 as you head for Natural Bridge. And this, of course, was due to an earlier accident. They closed down the highway for a while. Well, it's been reopened. But we now have what looks like a stalled tractor trailer in the center lane there. So traffic is still slowing. Now, the other incident was eastbound 44 before Pacific. they've got the right lane blocked. There was a van that spun out in the right lane. So a little bit of a delay there. And southbound 270 is slowing at Ladue Road. Eastbound 64, a little bit of volume east of Lindbergh. But that's it. Other than that, we are looking good on both the Missouri and Illinois sides. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Bill, that's a big smile for an old politician.
I'm thinking about our plan. It's slick enough to make a lobbyist blush. First, we hoodwink voters with Amendment 5. Tell them it's a tax cut. Once they're hooked, we decide who pays the higher taxes.
So it's not a tax cut plan, and we don't get a say?
Right, just swaps who pays the tax, but it does remove 3 voter-passed taxpayer constitutional protections. That lets us levy new taxes on services, increase sales taxes, and even tax home sales. And voters will no longer get to vote on tax hikes.
Higher sales taxes on groceries, gas, service taxes on doctor visits, childcare, and even rent on apartments. Jeez. Taxes could exceed 20%.
Sure, they figure that up to 80% of taxpayers will pay more taxes. Many, hundreds more. Seniors, they'll get hit even harder, but our big donors will cut a fat hog.
The ones getting butchered by Amendment 5 are most taxpayers. I'm voting no on 5.
Paid for by Missourians for fair taxation.
We're here to celebrate America's 250th birthday in 2026. This is 97.1 FM Talk. America 250 is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Yeah, happy birthday, America. How about that? Well, you know, the thing about it here is that you have a lot of options when it comes to getting a garage door fixed. So there are trucks driving around everywhere with these signs on them. Who you picked matters because you want your garage door done properly and you want to know you're dealing with somebody with experience. Can you find someone with more experience than the overhead door company? I don't know. 100 years. They've been at this a long time. They fixed my garage door for me recently. The spring broke, and they will fix yours as well. They'll also just come out and give you a tune-up, which I think is important. You know, you can have up to 3 garage doors checked for one low price. They check the door, they check the rails because maybe it's squeaking a lot. Those things can get off kilter a little bit. And they also check that the chain on that garage door unit that's raising the door up and down every day, thousands of times a year. You want to make sure that's all operating properly. Call Overhead Door Company. They've been doing it for a long time. I trust them, and they will not leave you stuck. They'll give you same-day service if your garage door is not working. Check them out online. Tell them Marc Cox sent you. It's overheaddoorstlewis.com.
Today, the Cards, the Marlins. Siteman Cancer Center game time 7:15. Play ball! Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
Want to make the most of your tax refund? File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it. With a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Marc Cox is St. Louis conservative. Weekday mornings at 9.
See, here's what bothered me, this statement. I was stunned to hear that.
The Brian Kilmeade Show.
What does that have to do with running the country?
Brian Kilmeade on 97.1.
I get it.
FM Talk.
All right. Welcome back. A little bonus for you this week. We get Mark Walters in here normally for 2A Tuesday, but we've reached out to him because the big Supreme Court decision twice now in favor of the Second Amendment, the one yesterday dealing with some of these left-wing nut jobs in Hawaii, I think. Mark, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, St. Louis. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Kim. Yeah, bonus Mark today, right?
Yeah, what is a vampire rule? Why did they call it that in Hawaii?
Well, you know, I had to ask that myself, too, because I guess I'm not up on my Bram Stoker stuff.
Yeah, no kidding.
I had to go and ask that, what do they mean? Well, in folklore and legend, a vampire had to be invited in.
Okay. All right.
So the law in Hawaii, how does that correlate? Well, the law in Hawaii, the reason they call it the vampire law was because in order to get around the Bruin decision in 2022, what Hawaii did was flip the script. And they said that if you're going to carry a gun in public, because Bruin allows this, right, and you're permitted, et cetera, in order to carry in on private property, that's open to the public, you must be invited in by the owner of the establishment. In other words, they have to expressly tell you it's okay. That flips the script. The Supreme Court found absolutely not. These are private properties open to the public. So it's automatically assumed that people are welcome. You're not going to flip the script because people carrying guns is lawful. They have every right to say you can't. If you want to put a sign up that says no, go ahead. So the Supreme Court said under the Bruin test, Hawaii's law failed miserably. It is unconstitutional and a violation of the Second Amendment. It is so ordered. Now, here's the beautiful part about this, guys. The reason I wanted to jump on with you today, because we all know, Mark, that the Bill of Rights is a restraint on government, correct?
Supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, guess what? Take a listen to Ketanji Brown Jackson's stupid dissent when she said, and I quote, "For what it's worth, I think Bruin was wrongly decided. But if it is going to be our precedent, the majority should at least endeavor to apply it faithfully. I respectfully dissent because the majority has failed to do so here, and its analysis and conclusion only further bind the hands of modern legislatures attempting to balance and protect their residents' interests." Well, yeah.
Thank you. Well, what if it was the First Amendment, Ketanji?
Tell me how stupid you are without telling me how stupid you are. That's exactly what the Bill of Rights is intended to do. That's exactly what the majority opinion did. And that just says to people, guys, when these liberals talk to you, understand that they're telling you what they want. This woman will flip Bruin if given the opportunity down the road. No question about it. And they want the states and the government to be able to determine and infringe on your rights in majority opinions by the Supreme Court. She just told you right there in that boneheaded statement. Remarkable, just remarkable.
It is remarkable. And I mentioned the other case was the one on marijuana use, like not hardcore drug dealing, but if you're a casual user of marijuana, the Supreme Court said they can't prevent you from owning a gun.
Correct. And what the Supreme Court said, really, the overarching opinion there, was that the government doesn't get to decide who's dangerous simply because of that action.
Okay.
You have to be deemed dangerous. These are two humongous, precedent-setting, landmark Second Amendment decisions in less than 10 days we've talked about here. This is remarkable and historic. Now the court needs to take an assault weapon ban case, and that's a 1-2-3 throat punch to the gun controllers.
Could not agree more. And thank you. I know you also represent the Second Amendment Foundation. Thanks to them, because I know they had a brief filed on this one as well.
Yes, they did. They were very active in the Wolford case. They were heavily involved in it. Second Amendment Foundation, SAF.org, folks. Join us.
All right, Mark, we're out of time, my friend. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for having me, guys. Great weekend to you guys.
You bet. Mark Walters from Armed American Radio there. Quick reminder, the voter guide is up on the webpage. It's up on the Facebook page. There's a link. It's at 971talk.com. I have put it out on X from the Marc Cox Show account there on X, Marc Cox 97.1 on X. So you can get the little one-sheeter, which shows them all the endorsements, and then the longer document, which explains each one of these amendments. So important that we all understand that.
Yeah, and you outlined it really well, so it's easy to digest.
Well, thank you very much. Very digestible, according to Kim St. Onge. I appreciate that.
You like that word?
I do. Hey, have yourselves a great weekend. Drew, thanks for filling in for Ethan today. Great job. We will turn you over to Brian Kilmeade here shortly for the rest of your Friday. Annie and Mark are in later today. We'll see you Monday morning starting at 5 a.m. Have a great weekend.